warns that there may come a time in the future where America might not be able to afford to save itself.
This is one of the things that got me out from behind my desk and my quiet life in this campaign was the thought that this spending is out of control.
Besson also had a dire warning for Congress about the expiring Trump tax cuts, saying this is a pass or fail mission for them. If we don't extend the tax cuts, he warns of economic calamity and a giant middle-class tax hike.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn on Capitol Hill. Democrats say those tax cuts give breaks to wealthy Americans. Besson also repeats a Trump pledge not to cut Social Security and Medicare and says Fed decisions should remain independent. The Trump nominee to lead the EPA, former New York Congressman Lee Zeldin, says he believes climate change is real and a threat, but also tells senators the agency is authorized, not required, to regulate carbon dioxide emissions. Interior Secretary nominee Doug Burgum is calling for permitting reform, telling his confirmation hearing the nation's electric grid is on the brink and that energy projects need to accelerate to boost power production. A ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas may be back on after a last-minute snag.
According to Israeli media, there is a deal. This comes after a bit of back and forth between the negotiating teams in Doha. A statement this morning from the Prime Minister's office saying that Hamas was going back on some of their positions. Well, now, according to Israeli media, a deal has been reached. It still could be implemented as early as Sunday afternoon.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. The agreement is expected to include a 6-week ceasefire and hostage release, allowing for talks on a permanent ceasefire. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Plenty of sunshine as we go through our Thursday afternoon. A little breezy, but let's try to get to 41 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, 25. Friday, partly sunny, windy from the south, 48. Some increasing clouds later in the afternoon Friday. Periods of rain Friday night. Saturday, partly sunny. Here comes another shot of cold air, 37, but dropping. And Sunday, sunny and very cold, 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Wow, this year has flown by, and now you're planning to sell your home. You know, like you, most families have been waiting on the sidelines. Well, now the timing is better, but you still have questions, right? Hey, Mark Cox here from my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. I've been telling you about Gloria Liu for years now. Why? Because Gloria Liu is St. Louis real estate expert, and if you have a home to sell, you need to get to know her like I have. I've seen her systems, her guarantees. I've even met her clients. In fact, I'm also a client. She's different than any other realtor, and if you need help selling your home for the most money, you need to do what I did. Call Gloria Liu. Here's another tip. If you have a home to sell in Crestwood, Shaw, Maplewood, the Central West End, you must give Gloria Liu a call. Take it from me and call my friend Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The 28th Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village January 18th through the 20th. The event features 3 days full of non-stop Cardinals family-friendly fun, including tours of the Cardinals clubhouse, admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, plus access to the Cardinals Care Store, autographs, auctions, and an exhibit hall full of sports memorabilia and more. Tickets are on sale now. Proceeds benefit Cardinals Care and its mission to care for kids in the community. Find more details at cardinals.com/WWU.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today and start the year off knowing you're giving your liver some well-deserved relief. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
No, I think you're right. I thought Pete was great yesterday. I think Pam did a great job today. We were helping one of President Trump's nominees today with the prep session. I think they're all going to do well because they all represent what the American people voted for. On November 5th, the American people said, we want folks running these agencies who actually respect the taxpayer, who respect we the people, aren't going to weaponize these agencies against us, but make these agencies actually serve the American public like they're supposed to. That's the attitude of Pam Bondi. That's the attitude of Pete Hegseth. I thought they both did very well in each of their respective hearings.
So the hearings march on, and it doesn't seem as though anybody has hit any major roadblocks so far. We are 4 days away from Donald Trump's inauguration, and last night we were able to watch the farewell speech, I guess, of Joe Biden. Did you guys watch that live, either of you?
I did. I listened to the whole thing live.
And so what do you mean? How did you do that? Oh, on the air?
Here, yeah.
So you were not able to watch it?
No, I listened.
These things it does make a difference. And it's hard to tell which way it's going to make a difference, but it does make a difference if there's a visual component when you're taking it in. People will watch something and feel differently about it because they saw it. And I think I remember yesterday it said there was a news alert that said he was going to give a speech or something, but it didn't really cut through.
Not really. No.
I was my son had a basketball game last night, so I was at the gym, 5 o'clock game, get to the gym, get home, get dinner. Nice to be able to have dinner like before 9:30. And so I'm sitting there, I get home, and a lot of times my kids are at school, so I can say this, they won't know. I turn the news on so they go other places.
Okay.
Have you ever done that?
No, but I know.
Put that trick in your back pocket.
Yeah.
When they're just like on you and they're on each other. It's like, hey kids, let's sit down and watch the news. And they're like, I'm out. And I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Something in black and white.
So I did. Okay. Well, that's another way. My 8-year-old, this is this is non sequitur. My 8-year-old, she watches what we refer to as grandma TV, because my mom will watch Perry Mason, Twilight Zone. Now, their reaction to Twilight Zone is not the same as yours.
I bet.
My dad has said, he's like, it's stupid. And
as in your parents' reaction?
Yes. My mom will apparently sit down and start watching Twilight Zone every time. And at the end, they're like, that was stupid.
Well, some of them are stupid. I'll give them that.
Well, that's the sentiment. But anyway, she'll watch Green Acres and what's the one with Opie?
The
Andy Griffith Show.
Andy Griffith
Andy
Show.
Griffith Show.
And then also like Hallmark movies and everything. And my 8-year-old loves this television.
Really?
Yes. It's wonderful time for my 8-year-old and my mom to spend together because then I don't have to do any of that.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Griffith Show. Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Perry Mason?
Yes.
What?
Well, I will come to pick him up and Evan will be like, I have to know how it ends. And I'm like, well, he's probably going to solve it or he doesn't solve things. He's probably going to win. Does Perry Mason win every time?
He's a lawyer, right? I mean, that's all I know. I hate that show. It's terrible. I didn't watch that show when I was young.
If I put Perry Mason on in my house, my 8-year-old would come sit down next to me to watch it. So that does not deter it. Fox News? No.
Really?
Just because they're so used to it. Well, this is like leading into last night. Like I watch Jesse Waters. That's if I'm going to watch the news at night, I start there. I don't need to watch Central, the 6 p.m., the 7 p.m., the 8 p.m., the 9 I don't need to take in all of that. I've got a life. I need to dip into one, and Jesse is the most entertaining for me. So I'll put him on. I'll watch. I'll fast forward through the things that maybe I don't feel like I need to pay attention to. And the presidential address was at the beginning of Jesse Waters' show, and I wish that I don't know if it's YouTube TV, which is what I have, or if it's Fox or what. But I DVR everything on Fox News. I DVR everything on Fox Business. I DVR everything on MSNBC and CNN so that I can always go back to it if I need to watch it for this job. I use it so much for what we do here. If they change it to presidential address or something and it doesn't, and Jesse Waters doesn't start at 7, I don't get to record it.
Oh, it's recording the program, not the time slot?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Which is nice because in YouTube TV, you don't have a limit on your DVRs, which is why I record essentially everything that happens on the news. So I didn't have it. So then I had to go to YouTube and pull up the YouTube live stream of the presidential address. And I was delayed, so I had to rewind and find it. And I sat there and I was thinking, like, gosh, you would think that the final presidential address would be appointment television. Like, I want to be at home to see this when it happens. And I recalled the fact that yesterday I got a news alert that it's like President Biden prepares his final remarks to the country or something like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I remember that. And then I watched it and I'm like, this is so boring. I'm professionally obligated to pay some of my own attention to the President of the United States, to hear what he has to say, to watch it so I can react to it. And I was just super bored.
Speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office. Before I begin, let me speak to important news from earlier today. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, by my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president.
So that was how he started it. He started it by saying, this deal got done and it was all because of me. Do we need to take a moment and think that all of this happened potentially because of the absolute abject weakness of the United States of America? Do we want to go and point out all of the different areas in foreign policy that Joe Biden's just limp-noodled don't has impacted in such a negative way American influence on all of these different conflicts? Minor incursion, what does that mean in the terms of history today? The world's on fire, and it's because of Joe Biden. And in his final address to Americans, the most important thing is that you know what he did. And I just have to say, President Biden, we know what you did. I'm not sure that you know what you did. And I mean that not just snidely. I don't know if this guy, I do not know the mental processing capabilities of the guy who for 4 more days is the president of the United States.
Even if he does fully know what's going on, he didn't have anything to do with it. Now, I don't mean his administration. I mean him personally. He wouldn't have had anything to do with those conversations. He wouldn't have been participating in any of that.
Why did you wait until you were almost not the president anymore to negotiate this hostage deal? If you're so capable of this, why didn't you get this done earlier? Why has it taken until the very, very, very last strike in the bottom of the 9th inning for you to try to get this done? And I will add that this is not a completely done deal. We heard was it Trey Yingst at the top of the hour with Fox News Radio, I think, was reporting that, as of last night, Netanyahu and in Israel wasn't able to get the vote completed. So there's the ink isn't completely dry on this. And yes, if you want to take credit for as a Trump supporter, if you want Donald Trump to be able to get the credit for this, the ink would have to be dry in that capacity as well. There is nobody who thinks that this is happening because of Joe Biden. The overt, forceful claiming of credit for this, it's not interesting to anybody. Nobody believes it. The best asset that Joe Biden has from Americans right now, the most useful asset that man has, is sympathy and pity. And I just always think to myself, if Senator Joe Biden were able to peek into the future of January of 2025 and see what his presidency culminated in, to watch his own delivery from the Resolute desk in the Oval Office, would he be proud or would he be ashamed? And I think he'd be ashamed. I don't think that Joe Biden, with his wits about him as a younger man, would want to see more of this. I think he'd say, I've seen enough. And the photograph of the Oval Office with Jill Biden sitting next to Hunter Biden, as well as Kamala Harris and Doug, and those individuals, like what a crew, and what a massive failure they have been for the country, for her people, an abject failure. When I watched that last night, I was momentarily dismayed. And then I realized in 4 days, everything is going to change so incredibly dramatically for this country, for the people of this country. We are going to quickly, and I believe we already are seeing, the change that is going to come with the presence of Donald Trump. There are people who are changing policies, who are changing public positions, who are changing rerouting funds to places that support an America First mentality, who support a Donald Trump agenda. They are doing that because they know he's coming in and they want to be on the, what's the phrase, right side of history. And watching people do that because Donald Trump's presence is back in Washington, D.C. in 4 days. It's preceding him. The results are taking place before he even gets the opportunity as president to act. And last night watching that speech was just one final reminder of how we got back to here. Because if you step back a little bit and you look at how we got back to here, it's really quite shocking. I don't think that we thought it was likely that Donald Trump would be the president again in 2024. That's still shocking.
Yeah, it's like the whole world is in the substitute teachers class. No offense, Brett. I know you ran a substitute teachers class. I was a cool class really, really well. But it's like when the substitute teacher's there and the kids are just like, you know what? We know there are some rules, but we're going to bend everything possible. We're going to get away with as much as possible. And then they hear the principal's footsteps coming down the corridor. They go, uh-oh, everybody shape up. He's coming or she's coming, whoever. We're in that moment right now. It hasn't quite gotten there. Principal's not quite there yet, but the class is shaping up. Hey, we were doing everything fine. We're doing fine.
Back to life, back to reality. And you can't effectively, positively influence the outcome if you're not living in reality. The problems that we've been sold that we need to fix, when you're being sold the disease and the cure, and that is a literal phrase from these people, when that's the way it's going, then you're not only not first in that equation, you're not even in that equation. It's happening to you, not for you, not with you. It's gonna so impactfully change our country in 4 days, and we're already seeing the results of it. The YouTube live chat poll for today: Inauguration Day is 4 days away. How are you feeling? Excited, anxious, scared, or calm? We want to know what you think. Hans von Spakovsky is going to be with us next. We're going to talk about the Pam Bondi hearing. It seems very likely that she would be confirmed by the Senate. That a lot of the confirmation process challenges was due to Kash Patel's FBI director position, and we were just looking before the show just to confirm. We still don't have scheduled confirmation hearings for Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Howard Lutnick, Linda McMahon, Kash Patel, Brooke Rollins, or Elise Stefanik. Those are still to come. Pam Bondi yesterday for Attorney General. How did Hans von Spakovsky think that she did in that confirmation hearing? We'll ask him when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Stewart's American Mortgage is where you can reach the bagel loan. The bagel loan is called the bagel loan. Bagels look like zeros. And that reminds you that when you use a bagel loan to get your new home, or if you're looking to refinance your mortgage, the interest rate's too high, they've come down since you got your mortgage, and you want to get that lower rate locked in. A lot of times that seems punitive because the cost in order to go through that process kind of offsets the savings of the lower interest rate. Not with the bagel loan, and not with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie's waiting for your phone call or your text message to talk to you about how a bagel loan can help you. And he will be honest with you. If what he's got for you is not really going to better your situation, he'll tell you. That's what he's done with me multiple times, and I've refinanced twice with him. If you're looking to purchase a home, make sure you work with Stewart's American Mortgage to get that quick close in less than 2 weeks. You can generate your own pre-approval letters. Once you've got that pre-approval, you don't have to wait for a third party to do that, and no closing costs. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-250-7807. 800-250-7807. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-250-7807.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation studio. If you have a furnace that needs service, a heat pump that needs repairs, or a boiler that needs to be replaced, contact Air Comfort Service. They offer 24/7 emergency heating service too. AirComfortService.com.
Guns and hoses usually means boxing, but January 18th, it's all about soccer. After the St. Louis Ambush faced the Empire Strikers at the Family Arena, first responders take the field. One ticket covers both games. Get yours now at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Will it be your advice to the president? No, Mr. President, I need to go over them on a case-by-case basis. Do not issue blanket pardons. Will that be your advice to the president?
Senator, I have not looked at any of those files. If confirmed, I will look at the files
and
for
will
the
you be able to
pardons, as well
will
as
you
the
be able to
ongoing
review
investigation.
hundreds of cases on day one?
I will look at every file I am asked to look at.
Of course you won't. So will you advise the president?
Can I answer the question?
Well, my question
I would
is,
have plenty of staff. You said, of course you want.
You'll be able to review
Listen,
hundreds
I'm
of
not going to
cases on the first day?
mislead this body nor you.
All right, let me ask another question. You don't want to answer that. Let me answer
You were
another question.
censured by
It will
Congress,
also-
Senator, for
it will
comments
also-
just like
it
this.
will also-
More perfect. Your form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
I can't think of a more insufferable face in Washington, D.C. than now Senator Adam Schiff. There he is in all of his righteousness, questioning the potential Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, who I thought did pretty well yesterday. Let's ask Hans. Hans, welcome back to the show. Good to have you here.
Thanks for having me back. I agree with you. I think she did great because she didn't take any guff from the senators. When they tried to cut her off like Schiff, she insisted on trying to answer, and she was very straightforward in what she was saying. I have to tell you, I started laughing when I saw Sheldon Whitehouse, the senator from Rhode Island.
Oh.
Yeah, he started asking her about, well, is the Justice Department going to engage, in political prosecutions of political opponents, so forth? And she said, well, obviously that's what's been going on for the last 4 years.
Yeah, he said something like, you wouldn't find a name and then try to look for the crime. You'd find the crime and look
Right.
for a name, right? And she was like,
Right.
well, is this real life? So when you...
Because that's
Go ahead.
exactly, remember, that's exactly what Letitia James, the AG of New York, and Alvin Bragg did. Both of them said, we're going to get Donald Trump. When they were running for office, they clearly picked the man and then decided on what kind of crime, in this case, bogus crimes, to charge him with.
Yeah, impeachment starts today. That was one of the news headlines right after he got elected the first time. Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us right now. Based on what you've consumed watching the Pam Bondi AG hearings, the only concern that seemed consistent across the board from specifically the Democrat senators was their concern about Kash Patel. And I was like, remember, this is a Pam Bondi hearing, but they kept bringing up Kash Patel. How do you feel about Donald Trump's nominees and their ability to effectively right the ship with our justice system?
Well, what I would say about that is that they all have the right attitude, whether it's Pam Bondi, Kash Patel in particular. They all have the correct attitude. The problem they are going to face is massive resistance from the career lawyers and career folks inside these agencies. I mean, literally, it's going to be like trench warfare inside the FBI, inside DOJ, when the two of them get there and start trying to clean up and fire people. And to give you an example of how much resistance they're going to get, I don't know if you saw this, but they just had a vote in the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department. The Civil Rights Division is where I once worked. It's the worst division in the entire Justice Department, filled with the most radical left-wing lawyers you can imagine. They just had a vote to unionize. So the lawyers there, who already are it's almost impossible to fire them because they're protected by these pervasive career civil service rules, they just voted to unionize so that it'll be even tougher for the political appointees who come in to get them to do anything.
So what kind of abilities will they have to make sure that the people, the bureaucracy, that's what the whole swamp is, right? The people who are there, who preserve the system status quo and do not serve at the pleasure of the president. They serve at the pleasure of the bureaucracy. What is the way to weed out those people and make sure that America First loving individuals are in there doing the job to make sure that justice is blind and fair for every American citizen?
Well, the one thing they have to do, and I have to tell you that political appointees in prior administrations, I'm thinking, frankly, of the prior Bush administration, were afraid to confront the career folks at the Justice Department and were afraid to fire them when they were insubordinate. And that's what has to happen when Pam Bondi comes in. If they tell lawyers, for example, to dismiss what they consider to be an abusive lawsuit, like the criminal prosecutions of peaceful anti-abortion activists, something that's been going on in the Civil Rights Division. If those lawyers refuse to do that, they shouldn't just be transferred to a different job. They should be fired, because that kind of insubordination is grounds for someone being terminated from federal employment. They've got to be willing to do that and to fight any kind of claims that those lawyers then may try to file saying, well, I shouldn't have been fired. That's a key component of getting things done. And all it takes is confrontations with a small number of these career people when they are insubordinate, when they leak confidential information to their friends at the Washington Post, that it may actually help shape the behavior of other career people there.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Can you teach us a little bit here the structure of the Justice Department? Because the Attorney General, they're very, very high up in the American government system. I heard several senators yesterday questioning the idea that the Attorney General serves as the president's personal attorney. What is the role of the Attorney General, and what do they all oversee?
The Attorney General oversees the largest, basically law department, law office in the United States. There are literally thousands of lawyers inside the Justice Department. They are divided into major divisions. The Civil Rights Division, for example, enforces all of our laws that prohibit discrimination, like in voting and employment. There is a separate criminal division. That's the division that enforces all of our criminal laws, prosecutes mobsters and drug dealers and people like that. Many of those lawyers are all located in Washington, D.C., but there are also Justice Department offices and lawyers in every state in the country. In fact, there are, I think, 93 separate offices of United States attorneys. Some states only have one U.S. attorney. Other states, if they're larger, may have 2 or 3 or 4 or more U.S. attorneys. So they're spread out all over the country. And while there's no way that the Attorney General can know and have direct supervision against every one of their lawyers, the political appointees who will be spread out working under Pam Bondi as her direct reports, they do have supervision of all these other lawyers. So it's a big operation. By the way, a lot of people don't know this. The FBI officially is actually part of the Department of Justice. It is not a separate, independent federal agency.
So Kash Patel, should he be confirmed by likely only Republicans in the from the Senate, he would serve under Pam Bondi?
Yep, he would, and I expect that they will have a very close working relationship, which is good, because that means that she'll support him in the major steps he needs to take to reform the FBI, which includes, by the way, getting rid of and terminating much of the top leadership at the FBI. And he hopefully will also be supporting her in the work that she has to do.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. The Senate confirmation hearings for Trump's nominees are taking place, and getting a little detail from the inside here. Somebody who understands the Justice Department very well, Hans does. I want to ask you about the presidency, because Joe Biden has 4 days left. He gave his final address to the nation yesterday, sitting at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. It's kind of a grim, didn't seem like a very positive message. What are some things that might happen as a president is leaving office? Of course, there are pardons, there's clemency, there are different things powers that a president has that they might do in the bottom of the ninth inning as they're on their way out. Is there anything particular that you're looking to see that possibly President Biden might do with those executive powers?
Well, I am concerned about more pardons, more clemencies. I mean, what he's done so far is just disgusting. And look, the latest, to show you just how bad this is they just gave what I would consider a very light plea deal, a very good plea deal from an MS-13 gang leader who was involved in the deaths of 7 people, including 2 young girls. And the Justice Department was trying to pursue the death penalty against this guy, but because Joe Biden is against the death penalty, they just did a plea deal, and the plea deal isn't even life in prison. No, it's a sentence which could allow at some point in the future for this guy to get out of federal prison. I mean, that's the kind of terrible things that Joe Biden and his minions are doing at the last moment as they leave office.
Sometimes I wonder if Joe Biden is somebody else's minion, but that's a different story. Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us right now. Is there anything that you feel like Joe Biden has broken beyond repair? Because when you have a new president coming in, if Joe Biden signed an executive order on day one to stop drilling or to open the border or whatever, most of the time those executive orders can be undone by the next person. Of course, not as powerful as Congress coming together and making a law that a president signed. That's much more difficult to change. But is there anything that Joe Biden has his fingerprints on right now that you think might be very hard to rectify?
Well, I think look, I have tremendous confidence in Trump and Tom Homan, who's going to be his immigration guy. And I think they're going to take all the steps necessary to try to close our borders and deport, particularly the dangerous criminals and other aliens that have come in. But good grief, Biden has made their job so difficult just because of the sheer number of illegal aliens that he has allowed into the country. In the first year of the Biden administration, they allowed more illegal aliens to cross the southern border than in the entire 4 years of the Trump administration. The numbers are estimated now upwards of 10 to 12 million. That is a very difficult task that they had ahead of them. Like I said, I have every confidence in them, but Biden has almost done everything he can to try to break our immigration system by allowing these huge numbers of unchecked, uninvestigated, unknown individuals to come into the country. And we see the results everywhere.
Well, Hans, next time we speak, it will be a different day in America, and a lot of things probably will transpire between now and next Thursday, and we look forward to having you back and talking about the developments, especially these confirmation hearings as they continue to go on. We always love speaking with you, Hans. Thanks for being with us today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Of course. Bye-bye. Hans von Spakovsky is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, former FEC commissioner and DOJ lawyer, and our friend on Thursdays on the Annie Fry Show. When we come back, let's talk to Ryan Wiggins and Wiggins America. Is this topic right on the sheet?
Yeah.
He just did this.
He didn't get to the ones that we shouldn't buy, so he's swapping them.
Dollar store items you should not be buying. Don't go away. You can vote in the YouTube live chat poll as well. Inauguration Day is 4 days away. How are you feeling? Let us know on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Lutheran education is accessible and affordable. That's primarily what I want you to understand when I'm talking to you about the benefits of Lutheran schools, because some of you are thinking about, gosh, that would be so amazing for my kids. My grandkids could really benefit from learning in an environment like that, but it's probably costs an astronomical amount of money. Listen to me right now. In the end of this month, and I think it's actually maybe started right now, I'm helping create an Annie Fry Show scholarship to help Lutheran education reach more kids. And this is not the first time that this type of financial help is being made available. It is available to you. But also, I think you'll find that when you go look at one of the 37 elementary schools in the St. Louis Metro East area, both sides, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this is way more affordable than I thought it would be. You need to check out a Lutheran school near you. You need to find out what it's like to put your kid in an environment to learn where the priorities are the same as yours. You need to be able to have confidence when you turn your kids over to the teachers that you don't have to worry about the things that they're going to be educated. You know what kind of culture exists there, and they are going to be provided with excellent education, excellent extracurricular opportunities that involve music, competing in music, learning piano and violin and all the different instruments you might be able to participate in, athletic competition that is a very good level of athletic competition, STEM, robotics, and more. You sacrifice nothing when you go to a Lutheran school, but you gain so much. I'm going to ask you here in a few days to start helping me make this an opportunity for more St. Louis area kids. But until then, consider it for your child. Look it up for your grandchild. The website is Lisa, with an E, LESASTL.org/Annie.
January is a great time to practice your 2A skills at the Range St. Louis West, the only NSSF 5-star shooting range in St. Louis County. Right now, you have a chance to win a custom range-themed hockey jersey and a pair of tickets to a Blues game by playing their Shoots and Scores promo all this month. Go visit them at 14803 Manchester Road in Baldwin. You can shop online anytime at therangestl.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and X. I'll see you at the range.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Inauguration Day is 4 days away, and we want to know, how are you feeling? Are you excited, anxious, scared, or calm? Jump on Annie's YouTube page and vote in the poll and leave us a message. Tell us why you are what you are about the inauguration. The time is 12:43. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
97.1 FM Talk encourages you to support Red Cross Disaster Relief. Visit redcross.org or text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Your gift enables the Red Cross to help people recover from disasters big and small. This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Well, it's a focus on your finances this week as we begin the new year. We can still say that. These have been dollar store things that you should be buying at the dollar store. That was yesterday. So just a brief recap. Greeting cards, gift wrap and paper, cleaning supplies, toothpaste, and some items like that are things that they recommend you do buy at the dollar store. Party supplies, things like that. Today, though, I have things that you should not be buying at the dollar store. After listening to Hans von Spakovsky, this feels a little less important than I thought it was going to.
Hans is the one who persuaded you to do that? To think that way?
I was enamored listening to him talk about the difficulty in dismantling the deep state. And as I was listening to him say that, I thought, I'm talking about dollar store items.
For the second day in a row.
For the second day in a row. And I started to examine my life a little bit. But,
so here we go.
But we're going to stick
What are
with
we about to get? Oh, okay. So
we are going to stick with it.
Despite all of that.
Despite all that. What I'm
going
encouraging you right now is if you're just tuning in, get the podcast, because that was a really, really good, substantial interview with a lot of really good information in it. This, too, has good information, just of a different type. So these are things you should not be buying at the dollar store, Annie. Number one, paint supplies. Buying paint supplies at the dollar store.
Like for your home or for crafts?
For your home. Brushes, rollers, other tools that are usually something that's going to cost quite a bit, may seem enticing to buy at the dollar store. But they're saying, do not buy these things at the dollar store, because you're probably going to buy 3 times as much of it because it doesn't last as long.
The urge is strong.
The urge is strong. When you paint, do you go for like, yeah, I'm going to get the cheapest paint I can, or do you go for the stuff that you're going to use just maybe one coat for?
I call a painter.
That's probably a better idea. I've
gotta
learned.
Listen, you got to get the good stuff.
My thoughts exactly.
Painting for me, I'm a middle of the wall kind of gal. I will paint the middle of the wall. I'm not doing the edge. I don't have that kind of patience or time. So if I do it, that's all that's going to get done.
You're talking about just like a coat of paint. You're not talking about creative painting. You're just talking about, I'm going to coat the wall with paint, but I'm not going to do the edges.
What are you talking about?
Well, when you said middle of the wall, I was picturing some sort of Instagram thing where you're like, oh, I'm going to paint balls and bats here. And
yeah, you know me.
You're kind of an Instagram.
It's like a regular old Hunter Biden on my home walls.
Oh, geez.
Are you referencing the news story about that? Because that
why conversation is so hard.
That was incredible, that news. I mean, what the heck?
What news? Why don't you tell the people? We're having a lot of inferred conversation here.
What I heard, and I think this was just a Fox News update that I heard maybe on the station coming in this morning, I don't remember exactly, was that whoever was buying and selling a lot of Hunter Biden's paintings, now, again, this is like secondhand, is saying that so many of his paintings were burnt up in the West Coast Palisades fires that he's claiming millions and millions of dollars in losses. Is that about right?
Yeah, well,
okay.
The New York Post has, it says a trove of nearly 200 artworks by Hunter Biden have been destroyed. One of the casualties is the wildfires ravaging Los Angeles, the Post has learned. Ken Morris is the person that says it. He's an attorney in Hollywood, and he said that it is valued at millions of dollars, which is what the...
I know. Just the inferences.
It's going to be wild if Hunter Biden, after getting that sweeping pardon from his dad, Joe, goes to prison for insurance fraud.
To be fair, I'm looking at some of these paintings right now, and they are really good. They're really pretty. Now, I don't know like how exactly to value like
He's
artwork.
Talking about my home.
The middle of the wall painting.
Yeah, that
middle
one.
of the wall painting.
Yes,
very abstract.
Yes. The bats and balls.
The unfinished part makes you wonder about the unfinished areas of your life.
Like if you squint your
introspectively,
tilt your head to the right.
You're like, there's just more to do.
Which is the exact same thing that I was told looking at Ryan's picture that he drew of Annie. Squint your eyes. Mm-hmm. Tilt to the right.
Turn around. Walk away.
Yes.
It's a magic eye. If you blur your eye enough,
I poke
Annie
you
comes
in the
right
face.
out at you. Yeah. She's pointing at you like Uncle Sam. But you can't tell because it's
jaw.
not very. Yeah, it's not done very well. So Hunter Biden, to summarize, probably did not use things that he got at dollar store to paint those beautiful paintings that are worth millions of dollars. Number 2 is cooking utensils. There's a big movement right now that cheap cooking utensils are made of bad plastics, and they get in your food, and they are carcinogenic and all this stuff. This is all coming from Katie Wiggins, but also from Yahoo. That while dollar store utensils may provide short-term savings, they wear out faster and require frequent replacements as well. Brad. Number 3. This one's for you, Brad. Makeup. Buying makeup at the dollar store may sound like a good idea at $1.25. It's very tempting.
Who wrote this article?
Yahoo.
Yahoo wrote it for Yahoo.
Yahoo creators. It's an original.
Nobody is like, I'm going to go buy my makeup at the dollar store because that sounds like a good idea. You buy it there because you don't have any other money.
Yes. Well, this is not an area I know much about. When I come into the studio, what you're getting is me just right out of the shower.
Ew.
I'm not pretty.
Braided leg hair and all.
I'm not. That's not even on the camera, though.
Thank God.
Buying cheap makeup often comes at the cost
Ethan,
of
at least
quality
he
and
wears
safety.
a shirt.
Yeah. Ethan. Now you're at the bottom.
I don't think that's what the people are saying.
Number 4, plastic food storage. These containers are typically made from flimsy plastic that can crack, warp, or break easily, especially when exposed to heat or heavy use. Many dollar store containers may also lack proper seals, making them ineffective for keeping food fresh or preventing leaks. Annie, stop buying your plastic food storage things from the dollar store.
Things.
Okay.
Check.
Yeah, we just use the containers that to-go food comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Those are free.
Yes.
No, let me rephrase. Those are included. Go on.
Do you reuse the styrofoam, or do you
No.
have the nice stuff?
Oh,
how would you reuse
the styrofoam?
That's what I'm wondering. Like that's what the food came in. If we went to a restaurant, I mean, to each their own. Number 6, electronic accessories. Dollar store electronics such as earbuds, phone chargers, or small gadgets are often made with cheap components that can break easily, fail to work properly, or even pose safety risks like overheating or short-circuiting. I can testify to this.
I can too.
I only buy Samsung.
Really?
They're outrageously priced, but they are the only ones that last. They don't cause your phone to overheat. Like when you see people's beds being set on fire because they had their phone plugged in and laying on their bed at night, which I do from time to time, it's that cheap stuff that causes that.
I've never heard the overheat thing.
Oh, I have.
So just the charger itself can be the source of overheating your phone?
Like, believe it or not, there's microchips and stuff in that meter
shut 'em off.
Yeah, that meter the level of charging and all that other stuff. And if it's not the good stuff, it can send too much of a charge to your phone, causing your battery to get really hot. And lithium batteries, when they explode, they create quite the fire.
Well, no kidding. But the reason I was saying that is because I've definitely noticed that if you get the cheap chargers, A, they don't last as long. They fray and they come apart. But then second, they don't seem to, like, after a month, I can't get them. You got to, like, shake them to make them work. They just come apart real easily.
Yeah.
Last one on the list. And this one was tough for me because I really like doing this at Christmas time, especially with my kids. Toys. So don't buy the toys at the dollar store. Although we had a great time this year because my kids now are to the age where they will buy toys for each other. It's usually toys because they're 10, 10, and 7. Now, the 7-year-old could not figure out what to buy for his brother and sister. So we just went to the dollar store and I said, okay, you got $10 to spend on each of them. And it was a blast. He had so much fun picking out, 7 toys for each one of his siblings and then wrapping them all in one big package and having them open them. And they thought they had hit the jackpot because they got 7 things instead of 1. That was a blast. But what they're saying is the toys are cheaper. They don't last very long, just like everything else. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to buy toys, just buy the good stuff.
So what you're saying is you get what you pay for.
What I'm saying is you get what you pay for.
But there's still that's a perfect example of a time where it makes sense to go something cheaper. It's not like there's never times where, that can't be an option, or there aren't times where that makes sense, because that does. But there's other times, where maybe in a situation like it's you guys providing the Christmas presents rather than your son. Now, obviously, I'm sure there's more examples than just that, but that does make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say that the list yesterday has to be paired with this one, because this is all like the don'ts. There's a lot of really good stuff. I mean, getting Kleenex, for instance, is great. We stock up at the dollar store all the time, and with things like paper products, a lot of people chiming in online and saying that's where I get all of my, not only Kleenex, but also toilet paper and paper towels and all that stuff at the dollar store. It's just easy to really spend a lot more than you think you are, because you keep tossing stuff in the cart and going, oh man, it's only $1. It's only $1.25, but it adds up pretty quick. So anyway, those are your economic tips for the week, both in terms of what you should buy and what you shouldn't buy at the dollar store. And of course, if you want to go back to Tuesday, your relationship with money and all things money related. There really is nothing else money related that you need to know after listening to Wiggins America this week.
Jeez. That about covers it. Tomorrow, dollar store misconnections with Ryan Wiggins.
Yeah. So if you ever walked past somebody in the dollar store, you found them very attractive, but you were afraid to talk to them. Tomorrow, we're going to take your live calls.
Oh.
That's not true. That's not true.
That's correct. That is not true.
That's not true.
Aww.
In the 1 o'clock hour, we got Tyrus coming up. We also are going to bring my friends in from the Lutheran Elementary School Association. We're going to talk with Libby and Amee because, guys, they have decided to let me have my own Lutheran Elementary School Lutheran Scholarship. And I'm very nervous about this because I talked you guys up so big. I made promises about how kind and generous y'all are, and we want to make Lutheran education possible for local kids here who might need a little extra assistance, and they're letting me have a scholarship. So we're going to talk about the details of that at 1:25. But Tyrus on the Annie Fry Show per Thursday, the huge. When we come back, don't go away.
Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to GregHammonds.com. That's GregHammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
Let's just face it, right? Your home should work for you, not against you. Hi, it's Kim, and if you've been dreaming of a new kitchen, bathroom, or a finished basement, now's the time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design. They're St. Louis's trusted experts in turning houses into dream homes. Just imagine this, a spa-like bathroom, maybe a chef-inspired kitchen, or how about a cozy basement perfect for some movie nights? Their team handles everything from design to installation so you can just sit back and enjoy the process. Visit lakesidearty.com today to start your dream renovation.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and how about the biggest sale ever in celebration of the new year? Leave all of the 2024 dirt behind with the new year. Out the door 24. Let's start the year fresh in 2025. And here's the deal. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. If you didn't get it done last year, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of an awesome offer for 2025. Anything in your home, the carpets, the tiles, the rugs, the upholstery, every surface can be Zero Resified. So this is the time in January to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Don't forget the air ducts, too. That's really important, helps alleviate allergies or asthma, and you want to enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home's going to stay cleaner longer. Take advantage. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention 97.1 FM Talk or my name. 474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. Don't miss this offer. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The clock's ticking for TikTok. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Just 3 days before the deadline for the app's Chinese parent company to sell it or face a U.S. ban. But even some lawmakers with TikTok security concerns say more time is needed.
We will continue to work to find a responsible solution to keeping TikTok going, protect American livelihoods, and protect against Chinese Communist Party surveillance. We must and can do all three.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Supreme Court decision expected soon on TikTok's challenge to the federal law requiring divestment. There's an echo in Washington just hours after President Biden used his farewell address to warn about a dangerous oligarchy forming. Independent Senator Bernie Sanders raising the issue at a confirmation hearing for Treasury Secretary nominee Scott Bessent, naming billionaires, including Elon Musk, who's now a close Trump advisor.
I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power? But do you think that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be.
Bessent highlighting his own concerns about U.S. spending and warning it amounts to a giant middle-class tax hike if the expiring 2017 tax cuts aren't renewed. Renewed hope for the Gaza ceasefire and hostage deal after the Israeli prime minister accused Hamas of backtracking with a vote in the Israeli government on hold.
Once the vote does take place, there will be a 48-hour period that could allow for objections in the Israeli Supreme Court. Now, diplomatic conversations are continuing at a high level, urging stability in this agreement.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Just getting word filmmaker David Lynch has died. The Oscar-nominated director of Blue Velvet and The Elephant Man, co-creator of TV series Twin Peaks. He announced last summer he had emphysema. David Lynch was 78. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Plenty of sunshine as we go through our Thursday afternoon. A little breezy, but let's try to get to 41 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, 25. Friday, partly sunny, windy from the south, 48. Some increasing clouds later in the afternoon Friday. Periods of rain Friday night. Saturday, partly sunny. Here comes another shot of cold air, 37, but dropping. And Sunday, sunny and very cold, 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-230-9333. 314-230-9333. That's 314 230-9333.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
The 28th Winter Warm-Up is coming to Busch Stadium and Ballpark Village January 18th through the 20th. The event features 3 days full of non-stop Cardinals family-friendly fun, including tours of the Cardinals clubhouse, admission to the world-class Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum, plus access to the Cardinals Care Store, autographs, auctions, and an exhibit hall full of sports memorabilia and more. Tickets are on sale now. Proceeds benefit Cardinals Care and its mission to care for kids in the community. Find more details at cardinals.com/WWU.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
We're thinking green and fairway on the Mark Reardon Show all this week. The St. Louis Golf Expo is at the St. Charles Convention Center January 31st. Just listen to us on the Mark Reardon Show all this week. And when we tell you when to call, you can have a pair of tickets all set up for you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Last night we were able to take in the President Biden's farewell speech to the nation. And here's one of the things that he had to deliver to the American people.
You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term. More people have health care than ever before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free, and we've pulled ahead of our competition with China, and so much more. I'm so proud of how much we've accomplished together for the American people.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Well, that was part of the speech last night, Tyrus, from President Biden. 4 days left until we have President Trump once again. What was your reaction to his message? It didn't really breed joy, I don't think, when I sat there and listened to it.
Oh, what country was he talking about? China? He wasn't talking about us. If he did a quarter of the things that he supposedly claimed he did, well, he's got no clue. Dementia doesn't come with awareness. So he was just it was all junk, garbage. Somebody wrote it for him again. The same people who did all these executive orders this last week and did the pardons for him. It's been a horrible 4 years. They know it. That's the reason why he was out. It was kicked out. They didn't even kick him out because he wasn't fit to do the job. They kicked him out because he embarrassed them on the debate stage. So, again, it's just more of they don't get it. It was his last. It was terrible. He threatened. He said something about oligarchs. I was surprised he could even spit that word out at this point. I I didn't. I think I watched maybe 5 minutes of it, and I think I tweeted or X'd or whatever. I said, turn it off. And it's much ado about nothing. He should have been apologizing to the American people for not being fit to serve. He should have been apologizing for running stuff that he did not discuss during his campaign, not being able to be strong enough for the job. He is the worst. He will be the worst president in the history of this country by far. You can't compare him to Carter because Carter at least was tried to make corrections. He saw things when things weren't working out. At one point, he fired half his cabinet. He saw inflation was hurting America. He tried to make changes. He generally cared about the American people, and although his term didn't go great, it wasn't for lack of trying. He still has the arrogance. He sat there with a straight face earlier in the day and tried to take credit for the hostage negotiations. He basically left Israel out to dry, wouldn't openly support them. And it wasn't until President Trump made the statement that if it's not done, it's going to be hell to pay. That's what moved it. And he couldn't even give credit where credit is due. And that's basically why this administration is gone. JPK had the audacity to cry. You lied to the American people for 3.5 years. I think she's the one person that will not get a job. I don't even think MSNBC will be able to put her on TV.
Yeah.
So I think it's glad it's over. He was a horrible president. He was a liar to the end. Even with his withering skill set, usually you are gifted a little bit of clarity and honesty, and he couldn't go down. So his entire political campaign, his entire career, whether it was 50 years, was just of dishonesty, corruption. The blanket pardon to his son pretty much says it all. So good riddance. He won't run again. And hopefully the American people will be a little wiser and smarter, especially what's going on in New Orleans and California and Chicago and New York. Will be a little smarter and stop voting for a donkey and start or an R and start voting for people who are qualified to do the job.
Yeah.
Because Biden was grossly unqualified and unfit to serve.
Well, you know that voice? That's Tyrus speaking with us. He's a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor. You need to check out his book, Enough Said, which is available right now. Tyrus, I turned it on and I felt professionally obligated to watch it. Probably something to talk about. I was bored. I was not inspired. I didn't believe him. Much like you, I watched Dana Perino react afterwards. She said, you know Dana well. She was like, I'm trying to be nice and Dana can't even find anything to be nice about. Flash forward 4 more days from now. Donald Trump inaugurated, swears the oath of office. How are you feeling about our country in the midst of everything that you just described with the current administration about what's going to happen here 4 days from now?
I'm hopeful. I'm also not oblivious to the level of opposition. We saw that with the confirmation hearing, especially Pete Hegseth. We saw there was no arguments of policies. It was all woke personal attacks. I thought it was funny. A lot of the average senator, I think, approval rating's 11%. So I thought it was real rich when they were on their moral high ground going after people. Love to get a look in your glass house, sirs and ma'am. Like it was laughable. Again, I hope if anything has been learned in these last 4 years, you do not vote on someone because they claim to be in your party. You need to vote for people that can do the job because, just because it's not your pick. I look forward to see some policy debates or something, but they all came down to the same thing, the same playbook. Well, what if President Trump says do something illegal? Are you going to do it? Again, we literally watched you do nothing while there was illegal actions going on in the White House. People were making policy decisions who are not elected officials. That is a fact. Joe Biden could not get past reading a card. He could not meet with world officials. He was hidden from everyone. They were so lost. They didn't know when a guy was out sick for 4 days with cancer. So, it's laughable to see them. I think Adam Schiff is probably the funniest because he was trying to get an inside take to see if she was going to go after him for January 6th. I think that was probably the funniest thing I've seen. But all in all, it's been there's a word for it, blank show. And I'm glad the show's over. And hopefully the fact that he has assembled such a wide variety of focused people that cannot be bought. You will see a lot of things done, but do not be surprised with the MSNBCs and the CNNs and the woke DNC are going to do everything they can to try to go back to claiming, racist this and that and stuff. But I think the American people have closed a chapter on that book. Their ratings would indicate that. But, our job is going to be to hold them accountable and call balls and strikes. And if they're pitching a no-hitter, I'm all for it. But if there's some stuff starts to sway, it's the whole point as voters to speak on it. And I hope everyone will not have blinders on. President Trump, I believe, was going to do a great job. But if he's not doing what needs to be done, we need to be right there calling it like it is.
Tyrus, before we let you go, every time the presidency changes hands, it's a dramatic time. It's a important time. Do you feel like this moment, though, is historically different with Donald Trump coming back? Is this different than other transitions we've seen?
Yeah, because Joe was so inept. President Trump has been being presidential since the electoral votes were counted. So this inauguration is just more of a exclamation point or a bow on the box, because he's been making policies. He negotiated, he got the hostages home. The fact that Biden tried to say this was my plan since May, only thing that comes to me, the politest word I can say is moron. No, he's been meeting with people, meeting with foreign leaders. You can tell Israel's reaction changed. Putin changed. Ukraine changed. They weren't looking for Biden for answers in these finals week. The vice president literally just took the rest of the time off. Her words of encouragement to California were basically smoke them if you got them. It was just laughable, or drink them if there's a bottle of wine around. So that was the administration. They've been, and they weren't doing anything anyways. It was the people, it'll be interesting to see if that is looked into, because the unelected officials who are running the country, they did the best they could to try to sabotage President Trump, but their lack of understanding of how executive orders work. So there'll be a great deal of wasted energy undoing the moronic things they did the last couple weeks, but they will get undone.
Tyrus, we love speaking with you, and we're looking forward to the year ahead of us. There's going to be a lot to talk about, and we always love how you bring just the straight thoughts and opinions that you have unfiltered by other people. People love it. Everybody compliments the show on being able to talk to you, so I just want to make sure you know how grateful we are for you.
All right. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.
You as well. Talk to you soon. Tyrus, regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, host of Maintaining with Tyrus on Outkick. Make sure you follow him on X at Planet Tyrus. Let's take a quick break. When we come back in, I'm going to welcome Libby and Amee back to the studio. They've been with us a few times before. They're with the Lutheran Elementary School Association. And I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the show, but they're they're honoring me with the opportunity to have a scholarship in my name, but I got to raise the funds for it. And I am hoping to raise a whopping $15,000. It's kind of a magic number. And I'm hoping you'll help me get there. I'm hoping. Let's learn more about this scholarship. We're going to be featuring in the last week of January here. We're going to do some fun things along with that, too. If you're familiar with National Lutheran Schools Week, we're going to have some fun on the show with it. Let's find out the details with Libby and Amee when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
At Neovite, our goal is to create safe, dependable multivitamins to support your everyday nutrition when you need it most. That's why we've formulated Neovite 50-plus multivitamins with 20 daily ingredients, including B vitamins for energy support, vitamin C for immune support, and Dr. Abicki's 4-ingredient proprietary blend that you won't find in any other multivitamins. Neovite 50-plus multivitamins come in 2 specifically designed formulas to help support your nutritional needs. Neovite Men's 50-plus multivitamin for men 50 and older, and Neovite Women's 50-plus multivitamin for women 50 and older. With a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, you can be sure you are getting quality nutritional support with Neovite. Support your best life today with Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins. Available at your local Deerbergs, Schnucks, and online with our easy-to-use monthly subscriptions at neovitin.com. That's NEOVITIN.com. Neovitin.com.
I do appreciate all the referrals that we receive daily. It is phenomenal. I've said it. I can't say it enough how much I do appreciate the referrals. With that being said, if you do refer me, you're in great hands. I will not sell homeowners that work hard for their money, just like myself, crap that they do not need. But if you want good quality, man, you can't even say cheap anymore. I don't think I can even say cheap by the... You can't even go by price. Okay, that's another commercial. Call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Remember, it's the only number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
John Ziegler.
I love now that both in Los Angeles and in the State House in California, they're bragging about how prepared they are for this week's wins. And I'm like, well, okay, that's great. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
The feeling I'm going through, I just can't say I don't love you, 'cause I love you. Yeah, it's hard for me to communicate the thoughts that I hold, but tonight I'm gonna let you know. Let me tell the truth. Baby, let me tell the truth.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Hate that you want me, hate it when you cry. You're scared to be lonely, especially in the night. I'm scared that I'll miss you.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I've got two friends in the studio with me right now, and I'm excited to bring Libby Guberle and Amy Colvin back in with us. They are from the Lutheran Elementary School Association, a great partner with us here on the Annie Fry Show. I'm a huge fan of Lutheran education. I'm very privileged to be able to be a messenger for them. As somebody who graduated from Lutheran schools myself here in the St. Louis area, my children attend Lutheran schools here in the Metro East. You guys are, you ladies, I should say, are part of how this happens across the area to make sure that people have access to these Lutheran schools. I'll start with you, Libby. Talk to me a little bit about the Lutheran school environment in the St. Louis area, how far-reaching it is, and the atmosphere at these schools.
Yes, we're really excited to be here. We have about 32 elementary schools, another 4 high schools in the St. Louis metro regional area. So we have close to, 10,000 kids in the system. And so we're really excited. They're all over the place and pretty far out into Illinois, as most people are surprised, and then out in St. Charles and a little bit down in Jeffco. So pretty far reaching. You could probably find one if you can, pretty within 15 minutes of your house.
Yeah, and the education that you get at a Lutheran school, there is nothing sacrificed when you go to a Lutheran school. It's a top-notch education. There are a lot of accommodations that are made as well at Lutheran schools. When you boast about the Lutheran education system, what do you like people to know?
Well, I think that the smaller classrooms are always a plus, and the idea that there are a lot of people that are in the Lutheran school, and you'll find this in Catholics as well, a lot of people that are not necessarily Lutheran that go to Lutheran schools.
Yes.
More than half of our kids are outside the Lutheran school system. Their parents have them there because they were looking for something traditional sometimes, something that was where they had a good parent-teacher relationship, principal relationship, and where it was more of a village or a community.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I've experienced and wanted to replicate for my children. I mean, I have my money where my mouth is. I pay the tuition to send my children to a Lutheran school. I'm paying Illinois property taxes where 90% of it does go to the public school system. My husband teaches in the public school system, so I do value education in all of these different places. But for our children, it's a Lutheran school, and we would do everything we could to make sure that was possible. For our children to be able to attend that. I have a child at a Lutheran high school. I have 2 children in a Lutheran grade school and one coming up soon in early childhood in the Lutheran school system. Amee, when people are looking into this as an alternative, I say this a lot when I'm talking in my endorsements about the Lutheran Elementary School Association, that I think that people don't want to see things. You don't go into the store and shop for things when you can't afford the things that are in there. You don't go look. But if you never actually look behind the curtain of a Lutheran education, you'll never realize that it's much more affordable for families than people think it is. And I've heard this many times from people who attend school with my children or who I've gotten to know personally, and they're like, I just wish I would have looked sooner.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing, is that people think it's a barrier. And when my children were in school, before I considered Lutheran school, I thought it was a barrier too. You could never afford private education, that we were public education people. And when I found out how affordable it was and how accessible it was and some of the absolute opportunities to get support and discounts, and when you get the second child, how that came along too, it made that accessible for my family. And one of the biggest things that my family was able to take advantage of was a Lutheran Elementary School Association tuition assistance. We got a scholarship when our second child, I went to work part-time, and our second child went into the system, so our ratio of income to the cost of the school went up, and so we were able to qualify, and it really just made the difference. It took off the edge so that we could still afford it. We still had skin in the game.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't want it to be free, but we needed it to be within our budget.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing, is that you can get that quality education. You can get the one-on-one. You can get the Christian education. And, that's the thing. We're one of those people that weren't Lutheran. We're United Methodist. And when I said, I don't know, should I do this because it's a different denomination? And one of my best friends said to me, Amee, they teach you the Bible.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's important. I like that. So, there was nothing wrong with that happening. And my children today are so much more knowledgeable of the Bible than most of their peers because of the time they spent in Lutheran school. And I think that's so important to have that, roadmap for your life.
Yep. Katie says, is watching us on our YouTube channel right now. She said, we needed a Christian education for our kids, and the closest to our house was a Lutheran school. We are incredibly grateful for Lutheran education. And then she had a follow-up comment, and we aren't Lutheran. So yes, Katie, thank you for that comment right there. I was telling you ladies off air a little bit, I was going to read for you a comment from a listener who reached out to me personally. It said, Annie, I saw you are raising money for Lutheran school education. How does one qualify for this? I'm trying to get my son into a Lutheran school, and I'm looking for aid specifically if anyone has anything available for single parents or for adopted children. Would this be something I could apply for? Libby, talk to me a little bit about those opportunities. We're going to get to how I need my audience to back me up and all the bragging I've been doing about you. I want to talk about our scholarship that we're starting here in a minute, but let's also talk about the purpose of the scholarship, why we are going to do this, and why I'm hoping to raise a blockbuster amount of money to make this possible for area kids. This is a woman who I know personally. She's adopted children into her life. She's an amazing individual, and she wants to make sure this is a possibility for her children.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you have a school that you're interested in, it sounds like she is. The principal will work with you. The administration, the admissions directors will work with you on scholarship funding. So we have a personal relationship with each one of our schools. We talk to them on a regular basis. They'll come to us with parents. They will give the parents the opportunities or show them the software. We use the FACS system, which is what a lot of universities use, high schools use for scholarship or for financial aid needs. And so we use a very basic system that everybody's using to help for families to apply. And so I would always recommend you go to your school first, talk to your principal, your admissions people, and they will help you get as much help as you can.
So I think that the key that if you're listening right now and you're thinking about this for your child or for your grandchild, the conversation needs to happen. You need to go in and see, like I was saying at the beginning when I was going to ask Amy that question, if you haven't walked into the store because you're sure that you can't afford it, I'm here to tell you that you need to walk into the store, talk to somebody, and like we were hearing from Libby, reach out to an administrator. They want you in that school. They want these children in their classrooms. They want to educate them. They want to help them walk in their faith. And this is an investment that, you know, I look at this, I'm just speaking personally as a parent, the faith education and the daily reminder that it is of the utmost priority, more than math and English and writing and all of those things, is the faith walk. When my children are young and impressionable and the world is after them, when I put them in a Lutheran school, I know that they are guided by the principles that could supersede every single academic thing that they would ever learn in life. And that is an investment that you can't make after they're grown. So that is why it's so personal and so important for me, for my family, that I serve my kids in a way to make sure that they're in a Lutheran school, and why I'm so happy to partner with the Lutheran Elementary School Association, because they are out there working their tails off. It's their literal job to make sure this opportunity is available for your child or your grandchild. Now, let's get to the business of the matter and talk about how I am taking an extra step here to hopefully raise an amount of money that can extend this opportunity to maybe even people who are here within our listening audience. Libby, I'm going to let you just kind of set up the financials of it. I don't want to screw it up, but we have a huge opportunity here through my show specifically to establish a new scholarship. What can you tell us?
Well, there's two ways that we do scholarships, and we have people who donate to us every year. $50, $1,000, $2,500, whatever it is, and they want us to support scholarships with that. We also have something called an endowment, and we have a number of people. We're probably over 30 people or families right now who have endowed a scholarship with an organization called Lutheran Legacy Foundation, and that scholarship then earns interest every year. And this is a legacy for your family. It's a legacy in that this scholarship will last forever, and we spend the interest from that fund every year and spend that on scholarship support. And so what we're trying to do right now with Annie and her group is to create a scholarship fund that will then last forever and spin out and support scholarships as long as we're around.
So in order to establish this Annie Freishow Scholarship, what are we looking to do specifically?
Specifically, scholarships start at $25,000 to start an endowment. However, if we can raise $15,000, I've got a matching donor, two matching donors that will give us the other 10. And so if we can get to the 15, then we can get the 10 from matching sponsors.
So Brad and Ryan, we want to get to 15. That's our goal. And I think, we have, when we did the Ruler Foods food drive for the St. Louis Area Food Bank, we had $7,000 walked in and handed to us.
Yeah, that was walk-in cash. So,
please.
Did you guys give them a voucher on the way out of the parking lot?
The St. Louis Area Food Bank was there and taking care of all of that as it was happening.
God,
but
man.
I mean, the generosity of you listening right now, and this, the thing I'm so proud of with this show and what we've established is a very strong community of not just like-minded people, but people we have similar interests. Maybe we differ from time to time on how we think that those interests could be best served, but the conversation is always open. And I know that you have a heart to give, and I stand firmly by my endorsement of this as something you absolutely should consider for your children, for your grandchildren, that I believe in this wholeheartedly. If you listen before I had an official partnership with the Lutheran schools, I was talking about Lutheran schools all the time. So I've been talking about, Brad and Ryan are affirmatively agreeing that is a regular occurrence on the show. Can you talk to me a little bit about, were you going to talk about the match? that was available, or what you want people to do?
Mention that.
Mhm.
That's the match that's available. Is that we have a private donor who'll do $5,000, and our Lutheran Legacy Foundation will do $5,000. So that makes that $15,000 really accessible for a lot of people, and an attainable number. And you've talked about your partnership. We're so thankful for your partnership, and we're so thankful for your sincerity, Annie. And I think this is a great opportunity for all the people that love you. There's such a great audience out there for you to honor that, what you do, the work that you do, both in the political realm and what you do with the show and with what you do for Lutheran schools. So this is a great opportunity for people to honor you, but to honor the opportunity for private education and accessible private education, whether they can take advantage of it right now or not.
What about the people who love Ryan?
That'd be great too.
I didn't know that was supposed to be funny. I thought we were just having a conversation.
Both of them.
Oh, I see. It's a joke. No, I really like talking about this because my wife teaches at a private Christian school. Yeah. My kids go there too. This is something we talk about kind of off air as just as much as on air because we're all kind
it's
of
our life.
Yeah, this is life.
Yeah.
And I just am glad that we have this specific goal now. Okay, so this is like the launch of this goal.
Yes.
But in the process of talking about this goal and hopefully reaching this goal, my hope is that a lot of people hear it, and even if they're not specifically attached to this, hopefully you will be, but even if you're not, you start to think about the fact that this is something you could be doing. There is kind of a gap there. There's a chasm between some people who think, oh, that's for other people. I could never really get my kids into a Lutheran school or Christian school. I could never afford that, whatever it may be. Or I could never make that work with my schedule even because, it's different.
No buses.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And just the conversation about it, to me, is big. And hopefully the conversation also leads to a very specific goal that we now have being met too.
To me, one of the coolest things about this scholarship is the opportunity to have a lasting impact. Now, if I understand this right, you will set up this scholarship, and if you out there you're listening and you donate to this scholarship, it's an ongoing thing. The scholarship will keep going because it runs off the interest of the original nest egg or whatever you want to call it. So what you have as a listener, as a potential donor to this scholarship, is the opportunity not just to affect one child's life, but many child's lives in perpetuity through a one-time donation?
One-time donation or multiple.
Multiple repeating donations.
They'll take it if you want to just keep it going.
Yeah, that's the important thing to know. One, if I could note that you can continue to donate after to the endowment. It's not closed once we reach that $15,000. And the more that it has in the endowment, the more interest it comes off and goes into our fund. We give away over $500,000 each academic year in scholarships to over nearly 600 students in the system. Which is wonderful and a great number when you hear things like million. But there are about 400 applications that we can't consider every year because our funds run out. So the more that we can have these established scholarships that do the perpetuity, that go on, the more that we can continue to try to honor those folks that are still wanting to be and have access to education.
It's an opportunity to literally change the path of a student's life.
You bet.
We talked a little bit about some of these college football players. We had Lou Holtz on yesterday, and these college football players, and they were talking about their faith and all this other stuff. But a lot of these kids went to private schools, and the opportunity to go from where they were in their school system into a private school system that A, directed them toward God and toward Christ is phenomenal, but B, changes their life situation so that they could go on and have a great education and a successful life, and then maybe pass that success on to the next generation after them. The opportunity to be part of something that amazing, to me, is worth the price of admission. So, it's like whatever you can do would be awesome.
One of my favorites is Cody Schrader. He graduated from Lutheran South. I don't know if you guys know about him. He graduated a few years ago, but he goes to Mizzou. He transferred. He went to Truman, transferred to Mizzou, was up for the Heisman last year. Now he's playing for the Rams. He's suited up. Mm-hmm. And if you look at his social media, the first thing he does is give glory to God in everything that he does. His faith is what he testifies. If he has success, he talks about it as in glory to God. God gave me my gifts. And that is his Lutheran education coming out in everything that he does. And so we love Cody, and we want his. We love him because he's a great grad, but we love him because he talks about God and everything that he does.
Libby, we have a comment on here, and it was talking about the tax deductible ability with these donations if it's a 501c3 charity. Can you speak to that?
Yes, this is our 20th anniversary, just to remind everybody, and we've been celebrating that. But we are a 501c3, so all gifts to our organization are tax deductible, and we do send everybody a receipt or a tax letter.
That's amazing. That's good information to add here. Yeah. James adds a comment on here and says, "Why is education so expensive?" And this is one of the things that kind of just as somebody who pays attention to the wide world of public education and also Lutheran Elementary School Association, my property tax bill, so on and so forth. If you've ever looked up what the state pays costs to educate a student, the public funding costs to educate a student, and then you go to find out how much it costs it's different with every school, right? Tuition is set independently by each individual school. The cost to educate a child in a Lutheran school, because oftentimes it's looked at as a ministry by the church that it is attached to. So the ministry of the church, they often subsidize, not always, but often subsidize the cost to educate a child. When you look at the tuition that you end up paying for a Lutheran education compared to what the state pays to educate each child, it'll knock you over.
Yeah, I do know, and I think it's different going to be between Illinois and Missouri. But I know that our schools are probably needing a little more education on how to increase their tuition rates, because they are they're very ministry oriented, and many of our teachers are probably not making
for sure
what they could be making elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's part of their mission as well. And so I do know that a number of our schools are below what it costs for the state of Missouri, at least. I'm not sure what Illinois is right now.
Yeah, there's a huge difference there, and it speaks to the affordability of a Lutheran education when you're paying tuition to do that, but also the fact that it is a true ministry that is participated in by local churches, but also the Lutheran Elementary School Association through scholarships like we are trying to establish here to make that a possibility. The webpage is up right now. We're going to make a big push on this in the last week of January, where we're really going to try to meet our goal. But I would absolutely love the opportunity to get a really good head start before we get to that week, so we can hit that 15,000. It's a huge number. I know that I'm asking a ton here from our audience, but if I see all of you out and about when we do events, and when I run into you, I hear from so many of you who have been touched over the course of your lives as a student at a Lutheran school, as a parent who remembers what it was like to schlep all over the place for grade school basketball games and competing at music contests with the Lutheran school that you attended, the drama that you participated in. There's so much to offer, and it's meant so much to so many of you. This is our opportunity to collectively give back and make this possibility for somebody who may not have considered it before because they didn't think it was accessible. So the website is up, right? lesastl.org/Annie.
You are ready to go.
There's a donate button right there, and I would love for you to click it right now if you would be so kind and so generous to do that.
Annie, what was that website again?
It was lesastl.org/Annie. That's
okay.
The most helpful thing you've done today.
I was just wondering.
One more time. I'm hard of hearing.
Yeah.
lesastl.org/Annie. Libby and Amy, is there anything else you want to add before we wrap up here? Make sure I hit every nook and cranny of this.
I think we've hit it all. We're just, again, so thankful for this partnership and thankful for your listeners who want to support this great opportunity and support private education and access. Thank you.
Thank you both for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And, if you're a praying type, pray for the success of this, because that's going to help us as well. I'm humbled by the opportunity to do this, and I'm praying that we are able to come together and meet this expectation and raise $15,000 by the end of January. National Lutheran I don't know if I've actually told you guys this yet, Ryan and Brad. National Lutheran Schools Week, it's the last full week of January. Is that right?
That is right.
Correct.
In Lutheran schools, National Lutheran School Week, we have Spirit Days.
Every day.
Every day.
You didn't tell me this.
This sounds like we're in for something.
Yeah. It's like you might have your school color day might be the last day, and kids will paint their face and wear the school colors. There might be career day, dress up like what you wanted to be when you grow up.
Like a radio professional.
Well, they'd have to dress up.
I'm coming in like Batman.
Yeah, you just come in dressed like Ryan. You might have pajama day.
Yep.
You might have, what are some other ones? I'm trying to think of some other ones that you might, like dress up like your favorite athlete or something.
I think it's like Hero Day. It
Mhm.
depends on the school, you know.
Book character day.
Character day. Yeah, there you go. So
Hero Day. You could dress up like Enrique Iglesias.
we could. He sings. Or maybe he is your hero.
But he
I don't
could
know.
be your hero.
Yeah. He
Oh, I'm
could
not
be.
familiar with that song.
We're doing National Lutheran Schools Week on the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, are we?
Yes,
Oh,
we are.
Oh, that's the news.
That's the news.
We're doing it. We've been
Yes.
voluntold.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And if you haven't yet tuned into the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you might be able to view it because depending on the day, we may not talk much about that particular part of the ensemble. But we will be celebrating it and, of course, talking about the opportunity to make this scholarship a success. So, Libby, Amy, thank you.
Thank you, Annie.
We're grateful for you. We're grateful for the Lutheran schools in the area. Certainly am grateful for the Lutheran education my children are able to partake in, and we're hoping for a great success. All good?
All good.
All right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, a notable individual in sports and entertainment has passed today. We're going to talk a little bit about that with Ethan in just a minute. Don't go away.
Ways to manipulate the feeling you're going through.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Girl, I'm not blaming you.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
'Cause I can't take this pain forever. And you won't find no one that's better. 'Cause I'm right for you, babe. I think I'm right.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and would like to learn how linking to the market eliminates your fees and will generate you more income? Would you like to know how to lock in your gains every year without selling, even when the market's going down?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Thursday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
4 days from now, we're going to have a new president of the United States. We are asking you this question, Inauguration Day, 4 days away. How are you feeling? Excited, anxious, scared, calm? Let us know. Even if it's not on the list, you could let us know by leaving a comment on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll on the Annie Fry live stream. There, you can leave the comment. 147, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
When the weather is the story is on 97.1. With live local updates and up-to-date forecasts from 97.1 Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Your local source for what's important. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I hate this song.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches.
So there's Bob Uecker, of course, in the movie Major League. That's Major League 1, right? I don't know.
Yes.
I've seen 2, but I don't think I know the difference.
A lot of people argue that 2, at minimum, is just as good as 1, if not better. I mean, it is really funny.
Is 2 the last one?
They had other ones after that, but it started to get into different actors. 1 and 2 are definitely kind of like the Sandlot, where it's just
the Home Alone movies.
Yes, exactly.
We were talking, Ethan and I were talking about Bob Uecker before the show started, and are you familiar with Major League movies?
No. I can't believe that I've never seen one, because they came out, I think, in the late 80s.
Sure.
When I was just old enough to get some of the jokes, but my parents were like, you probably shouldn't see these. And then I've never gone back and watched them.
Well, you did watch them. It was when St. Louis Rams were getting ready to leave St. Louis. It's the same plot.
Okay.
It's the same thing. But I said to Ethan that, Charlie Sheen is in that movie, but Bob Uecker pretty much steals the show in the movies
about.
Major League. Like, it's if you're quoting things from Major League, you're probably quoting Bob Uecker.
I can't tell you how many times this summer, just jokingly, broadcasting summer collegiate baseball, there'd be a pitch that would miss it just a bit outside. I mean, that is...
If you're at a youth baseball game and that ball goes way outside, somebody is saying that line.
I mean, professional broadcasters will use that. I mean, that has become such a pinnacle... That line has become such a pinnacle part of baseball broadcast. I mean, and speaking of pinnacle, I mean, Bob Uecker was the pinnacle of baseball broadcasting. 90 years is a long life, but this is a huge loss for both the baseball community and the broadcasting community. I mean, you don't earn the nickname Mr. Baseball unless you are that much of an impactful part of the game, and a cool connection to St. Louis, because at one time he did wear the Cardinal uniform.
Yeah, as a player.
As a player, yes, specifically.
Fox News reports that Bob Uecker, a legendary baseball broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers and former player, has died. He was 90 years old. Uecker called games for the Brewers since 1971 and appeared in the 1989 movie Major League and the film's 2 sequels. A statement from the organization said Uecker was the light of the Brewers, the soundtrack of our summers, the laughter in our hearts, and his passing is a profound loss. He was the heart and soul of Wisconsin and a dear friend. Bob loved people, his presence warmed every room, and he had a way of welcoming us all into his world as if we were lifelong friends. You know, when it comes to broadcasting, it's weird because Bob Uecker was doing a form of what we do here. It's broadcasting. It's being able to convey and tell a story about something that is current and relevant, and doing it over and over and over again. And it's interesting to think about, my childhood or your childhood, especially when it comes to baseball. There's a familiarity and a personal relationship you end up building with these people who come into your home across your radio over the course of years, because you have a common interest in something, baseball, or a particular team with baseball, that you do feel like, you lose a friend. When Mike Shannon passed, when Jack Buck passed, people felt the same way. The relationship you build with these individuals, it's just from listening to their voice over the airwaves, it's a pretty profound thing.
And you can make an argument, the Milwaukee Brewers organization has been around for a long time, and they've had some very successful players wear that Brewers uniform. Robin Yount, Prince Fielder, Ryan Braun. They've had some very big names come through and
Mike
play
Matheny.
for them. Mike Matheny. Jim Edmonds. Everyone remembers him playing for the Brewers. But it says something when arguably the most known member of your organization is a broadcaster.
Yeah.
And without a doubt, Bob Uecker is the most memorable member of the Milwaukee Brewers organization. And I will say this, and the last couple of years, for those that don't know, I worked in the St. Louis Cardinals broadcasting booth, and it was such a cool thing to be able to be a part of such a legendary booth that's had so many big names come through. And being that the Brewers and the Cardinals are division foes up until a couple of years ago, I mean, they were in town several times a year. And, Mike Shannon, John Rooney, these guys became very good friends with the likes of Bob Uecker and these guys that come in town and you see several times a year. It was really cool. And unfortunately, I was never able to meet Mr. Uecker in his final years of broadcasting. He was only doing the home games. He wasn't traveling.
Yeah.
But hearing some of the stories about just the relationships and the moments that these guys had throughout the years, my position in the broadcast booth was the booth assistant. And while it would have been really cool to work with Mike Shannon day in and day out, I am thankful that I was not having to go to the horse tracks and put in bets for him.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I didn't have to go to the local instrument store and buy a tuba when Bob Uecker was in town so that he could play it. He had one of his booth assistants do that.
Where's Ethan?
That actually happened. And Bob Uecker was known as the broadcaster, the player that was big time with the tuba. In fact, there was even a time where he used a tuba to shag fly balls before a World Series game.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
like you talk about all the things that go along with Bob Uecker and the tuba. For baseball fans, they are very memorable.
Yeah.
There's very memorable moments of him playing that from the booth, or in this case, wearing a Cardinal uniform, shagging fly balls before World Series games with it.
Well, he passed away at the age of 90, which is a life well lived. Uecker's family said in a statement that the broadcaster had battled a private battle with small cell lung cancer since 2023. A statement from his family. He brought joy to countless listeners through his wit, charisma, and love for baseball, Milwaukee, and all of Wisconsin, creating a legacy that will forever be cherished. While his contributions to the game are noteworthy, it is his kindness, humility, and love for family and friends that we will hold closest to our hearts. When you think about that, and you see lots of people who have a very public status, if you can be talked about as being a kind and generous person instead of just a bit outside or whatever, some of those very publicly known things about an individual, if that's what you're being talked about, your humility. After 90 years of life, I think that is a pretty impressive model set for the rest of us to be able to look after. So Bob Uecker passed away at the age of 90. We'll be right back.
Lowe's knows how to help make your Super Bowl 59 party a touchdown. Let us help you prep your home to host with top brands like Charbroil, Blackstone, and LG, so you can be the MVP of game day. Plus, use the Lowe's app to find what you need for a seamless shopping run. Or huddle up with our Lowe's Red Vest associates to help make all your game time hosting decisions.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct so different than other jewelry stores, you have to go back 60 years, when a diamond cutter became well known for his exceptional craftsmanship. His diamond cutting business flourished for decades. Then his sons got involved and started selling these exceptional diamonds to upscale jewelry stores here in America.
After a few years, these wholesalers decided to change the game and started selling these precious diamonds direct to the public at the same prices they had sold to the jewelry stores. The no middleman concept became an instant success, and Diamonds Direct was born. Today, Diamonds Direct provides that extraordinary value to people all over America, leading the industry with the highest quality diamonds that still come straight from the best cutters, offered at the guaranteed best prices, period. Diamonds Direct, a truly revolutionary concept with a unique history, rooted in quality, committed to excellence, and always focused on value. Proud to call the Lou home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
The Dittamore Group. You can find them online at thedittamorgroup.com. You are looking to buy or sell your home? Well, I have the people for you. Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha, maybe the most fun group in the business, but it also matters when you could put the statistics behind it, like the #1 group in the #1 office in the Metro East. Illinois folks, if you're looking to buy and sell, you need to make sure that you reach out to this amazing, accomplished team. They are going to guide you through all of the process, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's, and making sure that you are well cared for and excited to get through that selling of your home or the purchase of a new one. They understand thoroughly the markets that they work in, and they are excited to partner with you to make sure that your home sale or your home purchase is one that you are going to want to tell everybody about. In Illinois and Missouri, it's the Dittamore Group. You can find them online at thedittamorgroup.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, an Odyssey station.
They're not giving up. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. America's outgoing top diplomat still expecting a ceasefire and hostage deal between Israel and Hamas to begin this weekend.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he is confident and fully expects a ceasefire to be implemented in Gaza on Sunday.
It's not exactly surprising that in a process and a negotiation that has been this challenging and this fraught, you may get a loose end.
He also said in his final news conference that over the past 15 months, the Middle East was right on the edge of a wider war, and U.S. diplomacy helped avoid that.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Israel's national security minister threatening to resign if the current deal is ratified. Another flurry of confirmation hearings for Trump nominees, including Scott Bessent for Treasury Chief, warning of economic calamity if the 2017 tax cuts aren't renewed. There's reassurance from the EPA administrator nominee Lee Zeldin.
I strongly believe we have a moral responsibility to be good stewards of our environment for generations to come.
The former New York congressman also telling lawmakers he believes climate change is real and a threat, but he says a Supreme Court decision authorizing the agency to regulate carbon dioxide emissions doesn't require it. This as the former North Dakota governor and Interior Secretary nominee urges more energy production.
Doug Burgum, former governor to the state with the Bakken Shale, one of the largest oil developments in the U.S., told the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee that we may soon have an energy crisis.
Electricity is at the brink. Our grid is at a point where it could go completely unstable. We could be just months away from having skyrocketing prices for Americans.
Burgum said we need more baseload or dependable energy, not from intermittent sources like wind and solar, and that President Trump is concerned with the tax incentives that have gone to intermittent forms of energy.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200. 800-919-3200.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Plenty of sunshine as we go through our Thursday afternoon. A little breezy, but let's try to get to 41 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy, 25. Friday, partly sunny, windy from the south, 48. Some increasing clouds later in the afternoon Friday. Periods of rain Friday night. Saturday, partly sunny. Here comes another shot of cold air, 37, but dropping. And Sunday, sunny and very cold, 19. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
When's the last time you gave your home's exterior a little love? Hi, it's Kim, and if your siding is cracking, it's fading, or just doesn't stand up to our St. Louis weather, it's time to call Lakeside Renovation and Design because they're experts in James Hardy siding, which is this durable, low-maintenance option, and it looks beautiful. Plus, you have customizable colors and textures, and so you can give your home a completely new look while protecting it for decades. Don't wait until the small problems turn into big ones. Visit lakesidearty.com to schedule your free consultation.
Are you looking to save money when you shop for your grocery bills? Well, you're going to want to go to Ruler Foods. If you go to rulerfoods.com, you can quickly understand how to save because they've got the ads. I always talk to you about, okay, this is on sale this week. That's going to be on sale this week. That's all online at rulerfoods.com. So you could go there and do your own research and kind of look at the things, not have to write them down or remember them right now. But you can also find a Ruler Foods that's closestly, conveniently located to you. And I encourage you to do that. Give them the opportunity to earn your repeat business. Trust me enough to go into Ruler Foods and realize why I've been shopping with my family there and why we make sure that when we got the opportunity to go past the one specifically in Collinsville, Illinois, that we try to make that stop and fill up our cart. Fresh produce that is delicious for our family. It's healthy for our family. And I know a lot of you are looking to do healthy things in 2025. Simple truth, 10% or more off right now on top of those everyday low prices. You go to Ruler Foods and you're going to see those name brands you love at a lower price, but also delicious, wonderful Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices as well. Find all the details online, including delivery, at rulerfoods.com.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS. That's newnordicusa.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
97.1 FM Talk encourages you to support Red Cross Disaster Relief. Visit redcross.org or text the word Red Cross to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Your gift enables the Red Cross to help people recover from disasters big and small.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. There's kind of been a story that's hit this week, and there's a lot of news coming out, certainly political. I don't want to miss the opportunity to highlight some of the other things that are happening. Ryan, I got you pegged for a big red dye kind of guy.
Yeah, I probably eat 3-4 times as much red dye as the average American.
Bear. How much red dye does the bear eat? This announcement that it's red dye 3 has been banned. Yeah, nerd alert. I saw that there were red things missing from Disney World. It was,
oh, really?
Yeah, it was a story that was reported. I don't know how true it is. It's like a Disney blogger was like, red dye was banned, and all of a sudden you couldn't get the red dipped cookie or whatever. So they were reporting that Disney World specifically acted immediately, but the ban isn't in effect until 2027 or something. You have to be compliant by then.
Okay.
I mean, in large part, a lot of this red dye is located in candy.
Yeah.
Not surprising. Cereal, also likely. Fox News says food and drink manufacturers have 2 years to change recipes and formulas now that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has banned the synthetic food dye red number 3, also known as erythrosine. Red dye.
Yeah, we
3.
just say red 3. We don't say erythrosine.
RN3.
Yeah.
Synthetic food dye red number 3 has been primarily used in a wide range of food products such as candies, cakes, cupcakes. Do you really need to separate cakes and cupcakes?
Yeah.
Okay. I trust you.
Yeah.
You're like Buddy the Elf. Cookies, frozen desserts, frostings, and icings, as well as certain ingested drugs. Now, here are some of the top recognizable products that could be in your pantry right now. So let's determine how red number 3 guilty we
Or
all
your
are.
hidden candy drawer.
Well, you know what? You don't even need to disclose where they are.
Yeah. Do you have them?
Ryan Wiggins, are you currently in possession of red number 3?
Yes.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
We probably all are.
Yeah. And I'm going to hoard it now that it's being banned.
You could be a dealer.
Yeah.
I got some RN3 in the back room.
I got some erythritol.
People are like, good enough for me. If you know how to pronounce it, I don't even know. Brock's conversation hearts.
No. I hate those things, in fact.
Brad?
Valentine's Day hearts or whatever?
I suppose you could have conversation any time of year, but that's the hearts. That's when they're most prominent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're conversation hearts because they'll say things on them like, I heart you.
Yeah.
And
You're neat.
Are neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're our neat.
You're our
That would
neat.
be the kind of conversation hearts you have, because those are discounted.
Look, I didn't say they were deep conversations, and neither did Brock's, but they are conversations.
Yeah, I don't have many of those.
I heart you.
They're
Me
gross, right?
Too.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah, they're
3
disgusting.
for 3 gross?
You can write on chalkboards with them.
They kind of taste like Tums. I think I prefer Tums.
I prefer Tums, too, because it
Yeah.
actually gets rid of my heartburn.
Brock's candy corn, red number 3.
Really? They must be using just a tad of that to make that orange. I do not have any of those right now.
None right
You guys
now.
like candy corn?
I don't dislike it. I think it gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
Are you Mr. You gotta eat candy corn with peanuts?
No. I actually
It's just like a payday.
although
Well,
it
then why wouldn't I
is
eat a
better
payday?
with a little bit of salt with it. I really like the
Just
bigger
like
ones.
a margarita.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
the only candy corn I eat.
And a little bit of caramel. The bigger caramel corn, it's the same substance, but they're not caramel corns. It's the pumpkins.
Yeah.
The bats are gross just because they're a different flavor. But the bigger ones, I
Are
don't
they a
mind those.
different flavor?
They are.
Aren't they just black?
No, I think that they taste differently because there's something about them that every time I eat one,
The dye.
they don't have any red dye in them.
Yeah, it makes it taste so good once it hits your lips.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, put that in my veins.
Pez candy assorted fruit: cherry, strawberry, grape, raspberry, orange, lemon.
We do have some Pez. I don't really eat a lot of Pez. It's more of a child's candy. To me, once I put childish ways behind me, but the Bible told me to, and I became a man, and I don't eat the Pez as much.
Let's go look in your drawer in your office right now.
That's fine. You can go look all you want.
You're
You're going to find all kinds of red dye, don't get me wrong. But it ain't going to be in Pez.
It's man candy?
It's man candy. Yeah.
And what do you define as man candy?
Yeah, because I think we have different definitions.
Well, it's really anything that you want to eat as a man other than Pez.
Okay. The emails can be sent to Ryan Wiggins. Pez, you can send your cease and desist right there. I think we have Pez in our house. Pez might have happened in a stocking somewhere along the Christmas way, not from us.
Pez is just about the show.
I like Pez.
I do too.
I like the taste of Pez.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't. I don't get it.
I like
don't
the
get
taste of lemon Pez because it tastes like Endust or Pledge smells.
Oh, that's kind of strange.
You've never enjoyed the juxtaposition of a taste and a smell being the same, just different senses?
Yes, I absolutely
I
have.
didn't say that lemon Pez tastes like Pledge tastes.
I don't.
That's different.
I don't look at Pledge and go, man, I want to eat that. Let's bottle that.
Do you smell it and enjoy it?
Yeah, not really. I don't have a great sense
smells
of smell.
so fresh and so clean.
So fresh and so clean.
All you had to say was clean.
Oh, sorry.
We'll do it again.
Okay.
David.
Yeah. In this segment.
The next time we talk about lemon.
Okay.
Don. Lemon.
We don't talk about him much anymore.
We could. There's a story. Maybe we'll get to that. So I think we have Pez at our house right now. You're a no-go?
I'm a no.
I like Pez, but I don't have any right now.
Amos lollipop finger rings? Seems very
why
specific.
Though? Yeah, like we're just talking about the ring
Is that
pops.
the ring pops?
I would think it would say
That
ring pops.
sounds
I don't
like
know.
a different brand. I'll have to say no.
Jelly Belly's gourmet candy corn.
No, not
Also
candy corn.
specific, but I do have red, white, and green coated corn popcorn at my house, and the red is vibrantly red and delicious. I wonder.
No, none of these really.
All right, snacks. That was candies. Now let's go to the Fox News list of red dye number 3 snacks that might be in your home or possession in an undisclosed location right now. Entenmann's Little Bites Party Cake Mini Muffins.
Yes.
You have those?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the party cake ones. I think we've got the brownie ones. I'd have to look and see if we have any party cake
I would
ones.
assume that like the party cake is like a birthday cake and it probably has like confetti sprinkles in the mix,
Yeah.
and that's probably where the dye is. So I don't know if brownies would. I don't know why you would put it in there.
I guess that's a no then.
Maybe it's for the flavor.
Yeah, it clearly is. I've got cupcakes at home, but they're Hostess.
Publix canned mixed fruit. Those cherries aren't really that red, folks.
Publix canned mixed fruit. No, we don't have any Publix around here.
I wonder how much mixed fruit just has it, though. Because we get great value from Walmart fruit cups from time to time.
Yeah. We make smoothies out of some mixed fruit sometimes, so we might. I don't know though. I'm gonna keep saying no here, surprisingly.
Yeah, you're slacker.
Yeah, what's up with this?
I don't know that this is a comprehensive list.
It sounds like it is. It's very specific.
It just sounds like an enemies list of Fox News. Take that, Senate Democrats. Number 8, Kalanova confetti cake Pop-Tart bites.
Pop-Tart bites are pretty good. We don't
Never
have
had
any of
'em.
those right now. No.
That looks something that I think would look delicious, and I will never taste because I don't want to know that they're delicious.
Yeah, the problem with those is that they are really good, but they're not a candy, so you're not going to eat them after dinner.
Oh, they're breakfast.
And they're not well, if we keep them in my house, my wife's going to be like, we're not having Pop-Tart bites for breakfast.
Yes, because she's a good woman.
Yeah. So if I ever buy those things, they just kind of sit there. We never eat them.
Grocery items. Morningstar Farm Veggie Breakfast Original Veggie Bacon Strips.
Holy smokes.
Red dye number 3.
In bacon?
Not bacon.
Veggie bacon strips.
Veggie bacon. No.
That sounded like a bad decision before the red dye number 3.
No kidding.
How about you just get the pork?
You know what we should do? Let's make veggie bacon. What should we put in it? I don't know. What might get banned soon?
You have to make it look like bacon
Well,
because vegetables aren't that color.
It's more of a matter of trying to make something look like bacon instead of bacon, and
Yeah.
that's what you get. VIGO, is that Vigo?
Yeah, Mortensen.
Is that a joke?
Yeah.
Okay. Saffron yellow rice.
No. Nora? Nah, I'm just making celebrity name jokes. Nora Saffron. Never mind. It's not going anywhere. Like, these are dying dead. No to that one, too.
Are we talking about the rice?
Yeah, no to the rice.
Or the actress? Betty Crocker loaded mashed potatoes. What the hell does red
Why
dye
does that-
number 3 need to be in mashed potatoes?
To make them look more like new potatoes, maybe? Red potatoes?
Loaded. I wonder if it's in like bacon bits.
Ooh, if it's veggie bacon. I don't think I've
That would
had
be a rude lie also.
any of these things so far.
Nesquik strawberry low-fat milk.
No, we don't have that.
You don't have that?
But
We
you
don't
can
have
see
that.
where the red dye is. Like, at least
Oh,
that
for
makes
sure.
sense.
That's where I would expect it to be.
Nerds Bomb Pop popsicles.
Okay, now
I
we're
like
getting
how that's
somewhere.
in grocery items.
Now we're getting somewhere. I don't have these, and nor do I think we ever really have these, but we could.
But you would like to.
I wouldn't mind eating one.
Do you remember the Bomb Pops?
Yeah. I
those
was
are
always
so
a little
good.
disappointed because ultimately those kind of popsicles, they're just some juice on a stick. I like a little ice cream in there.
I'm not a popsicle person.
I'm not really either.
And I have sensitive teeth.
Well, maybe, get over it.
That hurt my sensitive teeth feelings.
It's kind of the idea. That's why you come to the Annie Fry Show.
But yeah, we're super sensitive. Red number 3 is banned for use in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, except in certain kinds of cherries. The dye will be banned in California starting in January 27, and lawmakers in Tennessee, Arkansas, and Indiana have filed proposals to limit certain dyes, particularly from foods offered in public schools. Manufacturers who use red number 3 in food will have until January 15th 2027 to reformulate their products, and ingested drug makers will have until January 18th of 2028 to comply with the ban. Fox Business reached out to the candy, snack, and food manufacturers for their comments on the ban.
I bet this is why there's such specific products. Because if California, this is something California has been teasing that they're going to do for a long time. It's probably why the FDA went ahead and did it, because they knew RFK was going to eventually do it, and California is already doing it. These products, it's probably fewer and far between than they used to be.
Also, probably why Disney is already taking these things off the shelves.
If in fact that is happening.
So is the fact that there are these chemicals inside your food affect your interest in eating them?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I joke, but I would like to see all this stuff as far away from food as possible. The more problems that people are determining these things have, the more that I'm like, yeah, well, let's start, especially when other countries, Western nations that, would eat at least, the palate-wise would eat similar things to us. When they've banned them, not that I would like to look to Western Europe's government for much, but so many people who I know who, when they visit Europe, they eat like crazy, and they come back and they're like, yes, I walked more, so that's a part of it. It's a lifestyle thing.
Yeah.
But I also ate so much food. Go to Italy and just eat all the pasta. People eat all kinds of carbs, and it's just made that day. It's stuff they bought that day, and so it's fresher.
Isn't Italy, don't they use pasta as a side more than they use it as the meal? Americans kind of
make it the meal.
Over-exploded the portion size into a meal where it's really more of a side to a protein and stuff like that. That's my understanding.
I don't know the answer to that. I just know that my friends my wife used to visit Italy all the time, not recently, but friends who do, they say, man, I go over there, I eat whatever I want, and I come back and I've lost weight.
It's just better food.
Yeah.
And other food news, this is in People magazine by an article by Raven Bruner saying FDA proposes moving nutrition info to front of boxes because of chronic disease caused by food we eat. How frequently when you consume things, percentage of time that you consume things, do you, in any capacity, glance at the nutrition facts?
More often than you'd think.
More often than not?
Well, on products I've eaten 1,000 times, I'm not checking the nutrition on it every time.
Well, you don't have to check it every time, but you check it before you consume it. Like you've glanced or studied.
I like to have a general awareness, if not of the ingredients, at least how much sugar's in it. Having dealt with now diabetes for a couple of years, or at least being borderline, it's just something I've had to start to think about more. And I'm not taking insulin or anything, so I'm not really there, but it's still something you got to think about. So I look at it pretty often.
I do every time before I consume something. And I'm looking at protein, sugars, fiber. I don't really look at calories anymore.
Yeah.
Because to me, the game that was played with calories and serving sizes. So if you, obviously you have to look at a serving size. I have pistachios right here in front of me. I appreciate it's wonderful roasted and salted pistachios, and the serving size is 1 bag. Mm-hmm. And I would have said this is 120 calories if I guessed, but they have 120 calories written on the front, and it's on here on the back as well. And it's 5 grams of protein. I appreciate that. Low in sugar. It's got fiber in it, so I'm eating this as my snack / my lunch. But I also have recently discovered Fairlife milk as I'm just using it as part of my meal at this point in time. I drink their protein shakes as well, but I'm just seeking out protein and I'm seeking out fiber. And so it's got me to the point where I look at those things all of the time. But when you look at manipulation of serving size and packages, they can make the package look bigger, which draws certain people in. And then they make the serving size be more so that the numbers go down. So it's all this game. But don't you remember when it became required to put nutrition facts on? Like we lived in a time before you had any idea what was going on.
Yeah, it was weird. I remember looking at packs like, what the heck is that?
And then it turned into having to be, in some places, involved in menus that you consume. Some people don't like it. I love it personally. Like if you decide you want to go ham, no pun intended, on what you want to eat and you don't care about calories, that's fine. But if I'm at the Olive Garden and a pretty humble pasta dish that you think, oh, that's nice, I'll have that. It's got chicken on it and broccoli in it, and it's 2,000 calories to eat it. I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
So you can look that up in the restaurant?
It's usually on the menu.
Yeah,
I think Illinois has a requirement to do it. I don't know that Missouri does, but the provided information there I find very useful.
I'm all for as much information as possible. I don't think they need to put it on the front of the box. If you're going to look for it, you know it's there. You can turn the box around. But I don't want to have to think about that stuff so much. I think that's where I've sort of come full circle in that I do much more research about the foods that I'm eating than I used to.
Yeah.
But I don't want to have to think like some things are going to be on that label. Other things you're going to have to go look up. Oh, does this use this kind of ingredient that I know?
You've got a special interest with sugar.
Yeah.
We have a comment here from Pond said, since my heart surgery, sodium is the first thing I look at. That's something, Brad, you've talked about, sodium being of particular interest to you. Everybody has their own thing. I like the information. It has definitely altered my choices on a regular basis. And, if you decide you're going to make a grown-up choice and eat something and it's crap for you, but you've made that choice, you're still allowed to do it, but you're doing it with information as opposed to without.
But you've said this before. Isn't it exciting that we could have with RFK or, like-minded people at the FDA, people that would just be looking out for that stuff for you? Isn't that the purpose of having those people there?
You can eat the things that you like to eat without the chemicals that are already added into it. So it's like, okay, is that piece of candy a little bit less red because it doesn't have that same red dye in it and it still tastes good? It's being used that way in other countries and continents. Why wouldn't we use that? Why don't we do that here? And if you've already got the formula in place right now and you're using it elsewhere, why are you doing that for Americans?
It's a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, you're real close to it, so.
Gosh, it's weird how much fat has been in post-COVID. And that might not be the case anymore. Like, being healthy, which also doesn't have to look like I was educated to look at, like, when I was in high school, where it was like, you're a size 0, you could be a double 0. It's like, what the heck is that? You need more zeros? Good grief. All right. Trisha in here with Annie, are you okay? Next, we'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
CiviaLaw.com. You can go visit the website at CiviaLaw.com and learn more about Todd. Todd was in with us here recently, I think yesterday, and he was talking to us about the Social Security Fairness Act. He's incredibly knowledgeable on a whole broad amount of issues. But I went to him personally with my husband to get our trust done. And walking through this process, having him look over everything that we brought to him and having him ask all the detailed questions, it was so helpful to know that when we signed all the documents that we had looked at all of it. We knew we could have the confidence that what we want to have happen with our children, because we have, of course, minors that we're responsible for and want to make sure that we have a plan in place should something like that need to take place. Our assets, hopefully, whatever happens in the future, we are covered over that course of time because of Todd Civia. He works in Missouri. He works in Illinois. He's got 5 locations for you to check out, so whatever is most convenient for you. But when you call 833-995-WILL, 833-995-WILL, you are in a position to set up that strategy session, and once you sit down for that, 2 weeks to completed documents. 833-995-WILL, CiviaLaw.com.
Do you want to kickstart planning for your retirement this year? Well, I know a quick and easy way to do it. It's a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Kind of like getting the Cliff Notes on how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement. Hey guys, it's Dave Glover from KMOX. It's never too early. It's never too late to get control over your finances and your financial future. You can do it with a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. They're held at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You're going to learn about tax saving strategies, IRA and 401k withdrawals, Roth conversions, Social Security, and more. There's no cost. All you have to do is bring 3 canned goods for the St. Louis Crisis Nursery. There's still openings for this month's classes and next. So call 314 314-350-8110. 314-350-8110. That's my personal Dave Glover KMWX number, 314-350-8110 for financial and tax architects.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon here with a quick listening tip for you. If you miss Fox Across America or any of your other Fox News favorites, do not worry. I got you covered. You can stream previously aired shows with Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app. So if you're busy work days, it doesn't mean you have to miss out on the news. Listen to your Fox shows on your time with Odyssey. To get started, just download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio. That's Odyssey, Audacy. I'm spelling it out in case you're a little slow like me.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The minds and voices that shape America.
This is Brian Kilmeade here on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
You know what I think the theme is? Keep it here.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk St. Louis.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And now it's time to play Is Annie Okay With This?
Hello, Trisha.
Hello, Annie and crew.
This is the beginning of my weekend. Go on.
Here we go. Everybody settle in.
Hello, Newman.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is.
That's right. 84-year-old man successfully beats off mugger with a pair of trousers. This happened in England. An 84-year-old man.
Does trousers mean in England the same thing it means here?
It does, and I left the word trouser in because I thought it was charming.
Yeah, I thought maybe it meant like bully stick. But it means pants.
No, it's a pair of jeans.
Pants.
Is the American version funnier, though?
It's a more sophisticated
Like, read
beating.
it with pants and just see if it's funnier.
84-year-old man successfully thwarts mugger with a pair of pants.
A pair of pants? No, it's not his pants.
Did he take them off and distract him?
Well, hold on, guys. This happened in England. An 84-year-old man.
I'm just trying to think of what Ryan would come up with.
It's how you get a bull to run right by you.
It was at a laundromat.
That seems like
Wave 'em.
That seems like a risk.
Yeah, if the pants are red.
Red dye number 3?
Yeah.
The bull's like, don't want none of that.
Yeah, they're getting rid of all that red dye. What are we going to do? I don't know. Let's dip our pants in it just in case of a bull attack.
Go on, Trisha. Sorry.
Thank you.
She said she only has 4 stories. We got to make this work.
We're not going to get past this one. This happened at a laundromat. The man was drying his clothes when a masked assailant approached him. Said, "Give me your wallet." The man said no. He started flinging his jeans at him. This was all caught on surveillance camera.
I wonder what you say when you're doing that.
No. You say no.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me your wallet. No.
No
Go.
means no.
Go away. Off
Yeah.
you go.
Shoo.
Sounds
Shoo.
like Bert from Mary Poppins. Pretty close.
Well, he swung his pants so viciously that the robber eventually retreated empty-handed. The robber wanted his wallet and the pants.
Apparently
Didn't
not
get either.
that bad.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I want his wallet.
Honey, we don't have any food to eat. I told you to go get some money. Well, he had pants.
Yeah, they were jeans. They were trousers.
Yeah.
They were pants.
If you're a proper British robber, how do you go and look your wife in the eye that night?
I don't know.
Annie, are you okay with laundromats?
Okay, so here's the deal. 6 people in my house. I've talked about this before, but laundry is the absolute freaking worst.
It's horrible.
It's the worst.
Yes.
I am trying to figure out how to implement the Ethan shirtless strategy and just tell kids they don't need that much clothes. Get rid of all your shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And you come home and you could spend an entire day or an entire weekend doing laundry, and on Monday it's like it never happened.
Yeah.
And you're right back where you started again.
My house looks like that, but with dart guns.
Okay.
Not like
Great.
Yeah.
Way to further the conversation. Go on.
Anyway.
Uh-huh.
No, you were making a great point. I'd like to hear the end of it.
It's hard to believe that you think that.
There are Nerf darts all over my house. Just to conclude the point.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
That's not to conclude the point.
To wrap it all up.
Well, I think some people might have
You
thought.
just said the same sentence twice.
Is his family firing real dart guns at each other? No, not real dart guns. It's
That might
Nerf.
be what the people were
It's
thinking.
Nerf stuff. Yeah.
I have, to the laundromat question from Trisha, I have often said to my husband, like, why don't we just go to the laundromat and pay $9,000 or whatever it would take to clean all this clothes and then only bring home the stuff that we want to let people wear anymore. And the rest we'll just take and donate.
Yeah.
Why not do that? When my oldest daughter was probably in, I think kindergarten was the first year I started doing this. I'd buy her 2 seasons worth of clothes, 1 season at a time. And it was like, you got 5 pairs of pants and 5 shirts. That's your wardrobe.
Mix and match them.
And by the end of the season, that stuff was worn to crap. We threw it away because it was not donatable. There were holes in it, stains on it, whatever. We just got rid of it. And then we'd go get the warm season worth of stuff. And I really wish that we could do that, but we're in too deep right now. When you've got 3 girls and they're all, the worst part about it is that my 3 daughters are all at least 1 size apart. So you can't take things out of this closet A and put it in a closet B because you're a minimum of 6 months to maybe a year before closet A can become closet B. So it has to go somewhere. And then there are things that don't get pulled out of the closet and then they infiltrate it. My son, God love him. He's still in school, right? Yes, he is. He won't let go of clothes. He's constantly walking down and wearing these tidy shirts.
Is that a dude thing? My husband's that way. We have clothes from high school, like these holy T-shirts, and I'm like, man.
Does he wear them out to does he think they look nice or does he just love them?
Until we got together and I was allowed to have a little bit of say. That takes a while in a relationship, right?
You look like crap. Go change your shirt.
You can't wear that. There's a giant hole in it. Yeah, he did.
My son's
regularly.
My son is more of he's growing out of things. And he's growing fast. He's very close to 6 feet tall right now. He wears size 14 shoes.
Ow.
It's a large shoe.
I hope he
shoe.
grows into those boats. But he's big and he the stuff that he was wearing in May doesn't fit him in September, but he won't give in. I'm always he walks down and he looks at me.
Little crop tops.
Yeah, sort of. He looks at me and I'm shaking my head no, and he feels personally attacked.
Just tell him to lean into it. Start entering every room like Kramer.
Have you met my son? That is the fastest way to go get him to change his clothes. That is not my son. That might be my 3rd or 4th kid, but that's not my son.
Or have him try out for vaudeville, because that's what that is they wear short stuff to make them look funny.
I don't know if anybody who he goes to school with knows what I do for a living.
Really?
He will not tell them.
No?
Mm-mm. And so when I tell these stories, I still feel a little safe because I don't think people are going to know. Because I don't think anyone's listening, I guess. But I will tell him I talked about you on the air today because I make sure he knows the stories I talk about. And I always am very cautious to not talk about things that would I don't think he would be embarrassed by that too much. So,
worker gets nose ring caught in office chair. We've got a lot of international stories today. This one is out of Indonesia. A woman had to be rescued by an entire fire squad after getting her nose ring caught in a rolling office chair. What happened was the employee had apparently been sticking her nose through the chair's mesh frame when it got stuck.
Why?
Just goofing off. This is all on video.
Just a little goof.
Just goofing off.
Did she work for a radio station somebody's co-host?
I didn't do that.
Hey, Ryan, come stick your nose in
It's not
there.
associated with me in any way.
Well, that's why you took your nose ring out.
After the
No,
story
it's
gets
just because I grew out of goth.
the story gets better. After her coworkers couldn't get her unstuck, they had to wheel her out of the office, put her in a van, and drive her to the fire station.
Did she still have the chair on her face?
Yes.
That's so great.
You had a nose ring, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Do you not anymore?
I could.
You could?
Mm-hmm.
She had to stop sniffing chairs, so she's like, well, one of these has got to go, and I want to keep sniffing chairs. So it's got to be the nose ring.
It's a safety
Is
hazard
there, as a nose ringer,
Hmm?
is there a way that this makes sense to you?
No.
Okay.
No, it does not. But the fire team got her free with a pair of pliers, and they all had a
I
good
don't
laugh.
know that this is one that you go, oh, well, it's a different culture. You know, I think the people of Indonesia would probably go, yeah, I think this lady's a little weird.
No, this is the tie that binds. This is an idiot.
Yeah, I think so.
My question to you is, Annie, are you okay with goofing off at work?
No. But I suffer it every day.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Boss asks candidates to sing during interview process.
Oh, I'm out. I'd rather be poor. Put me on the street. Ain't doing that.
A man shared his job interview experience where he was asked to sing a song at the end of the interview, causing him to fail the process.
Was he auditioning for like a play?
No, it was a major UK energy supplier.
Was it Hunter Biden?
No,
we hear you're an artist.
He was on the board, so he was one of the bosses. He was all cracked out. And he's like, can you sing for me?
I'm highly qualified for this, and I know what this job takes. Sing! Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Oh, I got a great idea for our energy company. How about if we have people start singing for us? Hunter, your relevance is gone, too. I don't know why you're even here.
Oh, man. So what's the question?
So the point of this was the interviewer revealed that refusing to sing was actually how you pass the test. It was to see how easily candidates could be controlled.
And they want people who can't be controlled?
Yeah, does singing prove that you can or can't be controlled?
It proves that you can be, and this company thinks that's a good thing, that you're compliant to whatever they need you to do.
Hold on. What? So they say you need to sing.
Mm-hmm. And they go through this interview process.
And if you're like, okay, I'm going to sing the song, and you sing the song, that tells the company you can be controlled, and they are more likely to hire you.
Yes.
So they have a bunch of candidates up there.
That is how Ryan got
and
this
one
job.
one of them is like, well, highly qualified, but wouldn't sing. This guy over here is going, "Camp down, lady, sing the song, do-da." And they're like, "Yep, that's the guy."
Let's sing your imagination song over there. That's exactly how you got this job. I never knew how Ryan got this job before.
Steve Moore brought me in, and I was like, "Steve, I just want to let you know something. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it."
Steve didn't even hire you. He, too, is stuck with you. That was somebody else's decision.
He's like, "This says you used to work at Joy FM."
I love how Ethan comes in here with the biggest smile on his face. Do you have something to add to this conversation?
Yes,
What?
I just need to emphasize that before we came in studio for the segment, Trisha's standing out there and she's telling me her story. She's like, "I only have 4 today." I'm like, "Okay, well, what are they?" So she's telling me about. I'm like, "Okay, good. They'll be able to stretch that. We'll talk about that." And then she mentions this one, and I was like, "Perfect. Ryan will sing."
I got my money on it.
Hey, she made me. She made me. I'm pointing at Annie right now.
I don't make you do anything.
That one right
This
there.
is so meta.
That one she.
He made me, she made me, and I did it, which is the point of the article.
That's why I got hired. That's why I'm even here.
I didn't hire you. It wasn't me.
There were tons of people involved. There were lots of people in this.
There was a whole
okay,
board.
sure, I was already here in 2018, but there was all this push and pull. Who's going to get Wiggins? He's so talented. And then finally, Annie got her way, and I ended up here.
That's exactly what did not happen.
I don't remember the story being that.
Was there any point where you had to switch to falsetto because you were worried about, the deep voice or anything like that? Where they were like, "Oh,
Just want to
falsetto?"
show your range.
Ethan, I don't get worried about those things. What a ridiculous question.
What's the question?
Sorry for
Are you
asking.
okay with unorthodox interview questions?
Man, I have worked at 97.1 since February 2nd of 2009. I have not interviewed for a job in a long time. 16 years coming up here.
You see it going on in my mind.
Yeah,
the
I think
math?
so. Is that right? 16 years? In a month or in less than a month? So I do remember.
12. Yeah,
I
13
remember
years
that
for me.
interview vividly, and I had to interview with a couple people here at the station, the program director and also the person who is the head of digital at the time, because my job was to be the digital brand manager of the station. So I had digital responsibilities and station responsibilities, and I remember being so nervous about that. And the funny thing is, like, looking back on it, I didn't need to be nervous about it. Like, sometimes you don't have that many applicants for jobs. I don't know how many people had applied at the time. I don't really know for sure why I ended up getting the job, but I remember just being super nervous. I'm good at interview. I'm good at doing that, but it's kind of a performance. You weren't around.
I heard differently.
What'd you hear?
I heard when you got hired that there were a ton of applicants, but that you nailed it because you came in and did every single part of Bohemian Rhapsody. Every part? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was tracked.
So many parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
Okay, last one.
A study finds pooping is good for your brain. It wouldn't be an Annie, are you okay segment without a poop story.
Yeah, send your letters to Trisha, please. Thanks.
This is a very small study found that triathletes performed.
So why not cover it?
13 participants,
Small
actually.
study.
Yep.
Huh.
These
Are they
triathletes
rabbits?
performed better on a no, they're athletes.
Oh.
They performed better on a cognitive test that simulates the experience of rapid decision making in sports when they poop beforehand. They took the test 3 times, each time a week apart. The first time without pooping, the second time an hour after going to the bathroom, and the third time with the help of a laxative. They performed 100% better the third time, 69% better the second time, and they stunk at it when they were full of poop.
No pun intended.
They stunk at it. That's great.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you
that's
so
great.
much. I'll be here next week. Annie, are you okay?
We might not be, but go on.
Are you okay with how this segment has evolved?
Ryan?
I'm interested, actually. Like, there's a lot of comedy here, but I'm interested in the science of the pooping athletes.
So it has to do with your gut health.
Okay.
And
I
something
wouldn't think that it does, because you just
about-
drink a bunch of laxative, you take a huge dump, and then you can run faster.
It's something about being cleansed. Well, but the test.
Sounds like it's a matter of weight reduction.
The test was not running. The test was they did one of those things where they said they have the word green and blue, and you had to say whether it was like green or blue. You know,
Nothing to
Whether
do with
what was
athletics
green
at
or
all.
blue.
Depends on the week.
What kind of test is this?
There was a bunch of words, and they were all colors, and they were all different. You guys understand? You've seen the test,
I know the test. I don't
No,
know how
I
it
do
does
not
with
understand
athletics.
why we're doing this. I am
Why-
not.
Why does that prove somebody's physical prowess?
Rapid decision making. I don't know.
I would like to rapidly make the decision to rap.
Okay.
The coolest song we played today after that. Ethan, well timed. Well timed. I appreciate it. Is there anything
That's
else?
what I do.
Anybody else have anything to add here?
Oh, I got a couple, but
Okay, well, people can listen to Wiggins
Do you have a
America.
number 2?
oh my gosh, you're doing great. You're doing a great job today.
Rap.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Dittamore Group, Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha. It's DITTAMORE group.com, thedittamore.com. Whether you are buying or selling or simply considering a move, the Dittamore Group wants to have a chat with you because they can help prep you to make sure that that experience is a smooth sailing experience. I love Tammy. I love her fire and passion for realty to make sure that all of her clients are fully satisfied with the experience experience, and that stems through the entire team at the Dittamore Group. They are the number one team and the number one office in the Metro East. They know these communities inside and out. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you're listening to 97.1 FM Talk and you can hear my voice talking on the radio, they can help you buy and sell your home. Their team has extensive access to information about the communities that they're working with. This includes, isn't limited to, the schools in the area, the populations, recreation, entertainment, home values, growth potential, and the surrounding areas that you might be nearby. You want the Dittamore Group to be a part of your realty experience. Whether you're buying or selling or thinking about it, call them directly at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. Online at thedittamore.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now it's our lowest price of the season on our top-selling i8 smart bed. Your best savings, plus free home delivery with any base. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25-plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
4 days away from a brand new president for the USA. How are you feeling? Are you excited, anxious, scared, or calm? Those are your 4 choices for today's YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think and leave a comment if it's not one of those for sure. 249. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. Good afternoon. The ceasefire between Hamas and Israel already in a bit of jeopardy. Josh Hammer is going to join us at 3:25. He, of course, hosts the Josh Hammer Show every Saturday at 1 on 97.1 FM Talk. Also, Bob Euchre died today. I have some thoughts about that. I worked with him for about 9 years in Milwaukee. It's all coming up after Fox News at 3.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We appreciate you being with us this afternoon. Anything you missed today on the show is available on the podcast. If you go to the Odyssey app, AUDACY, you can stream the station 24/7, crystal clear. And also, all of the shows from the station have our podcasts available on the Odyssey app. You can also go to anniefryshow.com/podcast to get those in a nice little player as well. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Inauguration Day is 4 days away. How are you feeling? I gave us 4 options for today: excited, anxious, scared, or calm. Ryan, your thoughts on the poll today?
Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary here. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see all the things that we're kind of seeing line up actually take shape and take place. Anxious to see, I guess, in a sense, what President Trump's top priorities are going to be. Although, you know, if Congress has indicated they're passing some bills right now to get him to get maybe through the Senate to his desk. So I'm excited overall. Excited. Brad, what about you?
I would say I'm super excited. I'm super excited to see what is in store for the country after 4 years of what Tyrus called a horrible 4 years. The last 4 years were just horrible, and I want to change. I have a lot of confidence and a lot of optimism going into this. So this has got me super excited.
I am definitely excited, but I am a little anxious too, because I think that I've talked about how when I have chats with folks like you listening right now, many of you are saying you just are a little worried about the president's safety and security. We are so acclimated to the extreme, and we've seen the things that are imaginable, the things that you fear that could happen. Some of those things have already happened to an extent. So it's not anytime you have like the assassination attempts that we've seen, once that becomes on the table, it happens a second time. And I'm a firm believer that when you know of 2 times, you don't know of every time that something like this has been thwarted. I think that we are in a very important, very sensitive time, and all of the right things seem to be happening right now, and I'm just a little anxious. So I think that I would say anxious, hopefully anxious, but it's just kind of my nature to have a little bit of worry about it. I wouldn't say I'm scared. I think people who would maybe select scared in this are just scared that Donald Trump's going to do scary orange man things. And I'm very happy that soon you won't have to be scared anymore. You know?
The thing I'm most scared of is from the time Donald Trump became president through now, every possible roadblock was thrown in front of him by anybody who had an ounce of power. I just think now we're in a new place now where he's got the most power and he knows what those threats are more than ever, and he's cleaning out Washington. But I just am a little bit anxious that we're going to see more of that. And it's always creative. It's always something different. It's not something that's on your radar. That makes me a little anxious.
So you are anxious, but more excited.
I'm more excited, though.
Ethan?
Yeah, I would agree. I'm also, I would say actually, I'm actually more excited than I am anxious. But I think that I compare how I was feeling prior to the election as well, as there was so much talk about, is he going to get in? And it was just like, okay, let's just get to it. Let's just find out the results. Now we know, obviously, that he's going to be in, but the last couple of months have been, what is it going to include at the start? Who's going to be on his cabinet? I'm just ready to see what's going to happen and ready for things to actually get moving. So there is a little bit of nerves, I guess I would say. But we have the certainty that he's going to be there, which regardless is better than what the latter would have been. So I am definitely more excited than anything.
Matthew, watching us on X right now, says feeling excited and praying a lot. I think that's a very wise assessment. Kurt said calm, too sick to relate to any of the provided responses. I guess, okay. Chris says, I am excited. Cannot wait to see Trump's magic again. Officer Gary said, I feel extremely excited and exonerated. I voted for Trump all 3 times, and I'm proud of it. Another different Chris says, Poll, I'm excited but slightly nervous. Something will happen. Katie says, excited. I know there's plenty to be nervous about, but before I read the options, I was thinking, I can hardly wait. I think that's a good sentiment. Like your initial reaction is, oh, here we go. Jackie said, I'm excited and hopeful. There has been so much advanced planning and influence, and I can't wait to experience the progress they make. Bobo says, excited with anxious following closely behind. And also adds, 4 more days, clap, 4 more days. Dirk says, I chose calm. I feel I can relax now that we are getting back a president with leadership, one who truly cares about our country and its citizens. Let's get the results, Ethan.
The results for today's YouTube live chat poll, 261 votes, Inauguration Day, 4 days away. How are you feeling? 66% excited, leading the way. That's followed by 18% that say that they are calm. In third place, anxious carries 15%, and just 1% scared, saying Orange Man bad.
261 of you and 1% of you is scared. Okay. It's going to be okay. I'll talk to those folks. It's going to be okay. And to the anxious folks that are like me. It's probably going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be great. Mark Reardon's going to pick it up from here on 97.1 FM Talk with all the latest, including maybe some news about how the FBI closes diversity offices before the Trump inauguration. Don't go away.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-230-9333. 314-230-9333. That's 314-230-9333.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and how about the biggest sale ever in celebration of the new year? Leave all of the 2024 dirt behind with the new year. Out the door 24. Let's start the year fresh in 2025. And here's the deal. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. If you didn't get it done last year, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of an awesome offer for 2025. Anything in your home, the carpets, the tiles, the rugs, the upholstery, every surface can be Zero Resified. So this is the time in January to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. Don't forget the air ducts, too. That's really important, helps alleviate allergies or asthma, and you want to enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home's going to stay cleaner longer. Take advantage. 24% off all cleaning services for the month of January when you mention 97.1 FM Talk or my name. 474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. Don't miss this offer. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not